Hello there everybody, this is General Snivy, and welcome to my next stream playthrough / let's play, whatever. Anyway, welcome everyone to Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Anyway, when it comes to this game in particular, I've only played through the game in its entirety just a few months ago actually, so yeah. It hasn't been too long since I've last played the game, unlike Okami, which was over 2 decades. But even so, I'm glad to finally be able to play this game again. And funny enough, I first played this game, and I played the original release of the game. It was known as Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon over here in the States. And that was released back on the Nintendo 3DS back in, I think, 2013? Or something like that? I'm not sure, but either way, I did play through the original 3DS release. However, I stopped after roughly 2 or 3 mansions in, and I never picked it up again since. However, when I got my hands on the HD port or HD remaster, when it comes to this version of the game, I managed to play through the entire game from start to finish, and I had a good time playing through it. However, there were quite a number of frustrating elements, which I will be going over as we dive into our adventure. So with that in mind, let's dive in now, shall we? Now, this may be a port of the original Nintendo 3DS game, but even so, the textures and all have been updated at least a little bit. And also the character models did receive a pretty nice upgrade overall. So you'll soon see what I mean. But as you can see, I do have a save file here, which for my original playthrough was 26 hours, 37 minutes. And as you can see, I did a lot. I completed the whole single-player campaign and 100%ed it. And if you're wondering what my plan is for this stream playthrough, I planned on quote-unquote 100%ing the single-player campaign again, but not in the same way as I did for my first playthrough. And you will see what I mean when we are playing the game. So for now, let's go ahead and select save file number 3, and let's dive on in now, shall we? Yep, let's go ahead and start the game. And no, I'm not going to erase file 1. That would be stupid. So anyway, Luigi's Mansion 2 is the direct sequel to the original Luigi's Mansion released back on the Nintendo GameCube. Why was this game released on the 3DS originally? I have no idea. But even so. Ooh, spooky. Hi, how you doing? Aw, gotta say the designs of these ghosts are pretty cute. Although I still miss the originals back in the first Luigi's Mansion, but that's just me in my opinion. And funny enough, the designs of these ghosts in particular, they were later carried over into Luigi's Mansion 3. Hello there! That's a big boy. Oh boy, looks like King Boo is back. Oh dear. Now that's what we call shooting the moon! With the crown, of course. And no, we're not doing that yet, fools! But with the destruction of the Dark Moon, as you can see, things are not exactly going all that well. Oh dear. What we thought the ghosts were all friendly, kind, and all happy-going, yeah, with the destruction of the Dark Moon, things kind of went all topsy-turvy and went completely unstable. Oh boy. Not exactly a fun time for anyone. Oh, that's actually a pretty nice callback with that poster in the background where Luigi actually, quote-unquote, won a free mansion back in the first game. Speaking of Luigi, as you can see, his character model really got a significant upgrade compared to the 3DS version, which, that's a given. Luigi! I need your help, Sonny! It's an emergency! The ghosts have gone hostile! Ah, what are you doing on the floor? Never mind that. I'm repairing the pixelator.
No.
Hold still, young feller. Cause you're going for a ride.
No.
Here we go! We interrupt Luigi's Mansion 2 HD to bring you the movie Tron. Just kidding. Oh boy. Gotta say, this place really looks spiffy. Greetings, Luigi. I knew our paths would cross again. You seem a bit tense, son. Relax. We're perfectly safe here in this impenetrable bunker. Anywho, it's been too long, my boy. What have you been up to? I imagine you've been off adventuring with that daredevil brother of yours. Me? Oh, I've just been continuing my research on paranormal happenings and whatnot. In fact, after our last adventure, I became somewhat of an authority in the field. Yeah, that's what it says. But enough about that. Let me fill you in on our ghostly predicament. See down on the screen? That there is the Dark Moon. It's a mysterious crystallized, It's a mysterious celestial body that has pacifying effects on all the ghosts in Evershade Valley. When I heard about it, I jumped at the race chance to study ghosts in a peaceful environment. It was incredible, my boy. I was doing some of the best research in my long and storied career. That is, until something snapped inside the ghosts and they suddenly got all hostile. It got so bad I had to escape from the gloomy manor and hide here where the ghosts can't find me. Of course, I'm not one to sit around and twiddle my thumbs. I want to know why the ghosts are freaking out. Me too, my man, me too. So I settled in and did some research to figure out what had happened. That's when I discovered something truly astonishing. The Dark Moon had vanished from the sky. And on top of that, the whole Evershade Valley became enveloped in an eerie fog. Hopefully this place doesn't become like Silent Hill. Anyway. Excuse me. Didn't mean to do that. Now, I can't be sure, but I think the disappearance of the Dark Moon is what caused all this mess. And what a mess it is. If we don't do something about it, the ghosts might leave this valley and terrorize the world beyond. Worse still, my research will go to waste. We can't let that happen, my boy. Now I got good news and I got bad news. Wait here. Whoa, hello there. The good news is that I found a fragment of the Dark Moon nearby. And hello, evil dragon. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you can make it. Yeah, this game really is an awesome time, and you'll see what I mean. Anyway, but the bad news is I found a fragment of the Dark Moon nearby, meaning the thing's broken. No, really? I thought it was fully functional and perfectly fine. Anyway, and this Dark Moon piece seems to be corrupted by some sort of energy. I reckon it's a disruptive energy that suppresses the Dark Moon's ability to pacify ghosts. But lucky for us, I got inventions for all kinds of situations. Stand back, Sonny. I have played through the game already, but yeah, keep that in mind for future viewers who have not played the game for themselves. So keep the spoilers to a minimum if you can. Ooh. Well then, I guess that fixes that problem. Nice work, dude. I've done it, Luigi. It seems to have regained its original power. And did you hear that whooshing noise outside, youngster? Let me check my instruments. Criminy! All that fog around this bunker is gone. Quick, let's take a look at the map of Evershade Valley. I wouldn't really call this a map, more like a radar, but you do you. Luigi, do you know what this means? We should be able to reach the Gloomy Manor now. More importantly, it means that restoring the Dark Moon will solve all of our problems. If we find all the Dark Moon pieces, the fog in the valley will vanish and the ghost will return to normal. But until then, all the ghosts will need to be contained. That's where you come in, Luigi. Why, you're the best ghost wrangler I know, son. Coincidentally, you're also the only ghost wrangler I know. So, what do you say, young feller? Will you help me capture the ghost and restore the Dark Moon? Oh, of course you will. It'll be just like old times. Wait, how might I stream it while this on the Nintendo 3DS? This is the HD port of the original 3DS release, known as Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. And when it comes to playing through the original 3DS release, there are ways of being able to either stream the game to your PC using modified firmware, or you can have a hardware mod installed in a Nintendo 3DS or a new Nintendo 3DS and capture gameplay via USB. I actually have 2 capture devices like that. I haven't tried hooking them up or installing the drivers on them on this PC yet. And honestly, I don't think it's worth the trouble right now. And really, I'm just focusing on console gaming for the time being. But even so, to answer your question, TLDR is you can either do it via software, via custom firmware, or you can have a hardware mod installed on your Nintendo 3DS or new 3DS. Just keep in mind that hardware mods, I believe, require soldering, especially on the new 3DS model, but the OG Nintendo 3DS model, I don't think you need to do any sort of soldering, but I don't really know the inner workings of a Nintendo 3DS capture device. I'm just a filthy casual, so who's to say? But even so, just figure I'd point that out. Anywho, before we begin our journey, as you may have undoubtedly noticed with Professor Egad, he too got a bit of a character upgrade. And as you've seen with Luigi's character model, especially within the material of Luigi's clothing and his hat and overalls, he looks roughly on par with his Luigi's Mansion 3 counterpart, which that game ran on Unreal Engine. I think it's Unreal Engine 4, but this game does not use Unreal Engine, as far as I know. But Egad's character model was also updated a little bit to look more like his Luigi's Mansion 3 counterpart, and that was how it works with the, the HD porting process, I think. But as you can undoubtedly see, not everything received the HD texture treatment. So when it comes to the environments and things like that, there might be some upscaling and some HD textures here and there, but it's not really all that prevalent. Which, as I mentioned before, this is a port, not a remaster. As stupid as that sounds, this game, or more or less this port, came out around the tail end of the Nintendo Switch's life cycle. So in other words, this was when Nintendo kind of got lazy with their HD remasters and started porting older games. So this is one of them, another one being Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. That also is a port. Albeit it is a port of the Nintendo 3DS version, I think, along with a couple of updates from the original Wii release. This game only came from the original 3DS, so yeah, some work has been done to update some things here and there, but even so, just saying. Anywho, welcome to the first area, Gloomy Manor. I, Professor Elvin Gadd, have observed the ghosts living in this gloomy manor, when suddenly the Dark Moon broke into pieces and the ghosts got all hostile-like. This is true. And whenever you select a manor to explore, you can view the gem collection or just jump right on into the action. As you can see, each manor, or this manor in particular, has a good number of gems to collect. And for this playthrough, I will be collecting them all, as that is a part of the completion process. As far as where to find each and every gem, they only spawn during certain missions, so if you know exactly where they are and where they spawn, sometimes they won't spawn in the mission that you're in. However, some of them are in the majority of the missions. For the most part, and in most missions as you see here, you can find up to 3 gems, most of the time. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes that's only 1. And sometimes it's more. Even so, just figure I'd point that out there. Like I mentioned, I do plan on hunting down every single gem, and of course I will be trying to complete the game. Not 100% fully, and you'll see what I mean after we complete our first mission, which is A1, Poltergust 5000. If we restore the Dark Moon, we'll need to get you properly equipped. I've got just the device for the job, but I left it in the Gloomy Manor. Mind fetching it for me, Sonny? We will do that. And as I've already alluded, there's more than one mansion in this game. In fact, as far as I can recall, there are 5 mansions. So that's actually pretty cool. It's also kind of a shame that, that didn't carry over into Luigi's Mansion 3, where it's just one haunted hotel, but it does have a metric ton of floors, so that kind of makes up for it. But even so, just saying. What are you scared of, Sonny? It's just a few harmless ghosts. Well, a few hundred ghosts. And they're not exactly harmless. But looky here, with my brains and we're in a bit of a pickle here, aren't we? Well, the only way out of this mess is to restore the Dark Moon. Which means you're going to need some ghost hunting gear, son. But won't you know it, I left my new Poltergust 5000 somewhere inside the Gloomy Manor. So now that I cleared that blasted fog from the area, or from around the place, I'm sending you in after it. Why don't you go in and get it yourself? Oh, I know, because you're too important. And plot. Look familiar? This customized DS has an interactive map of the Gloomy Manor on it. It allows me to communicate with you while you're exploring. Neato! I'm glad they kept that from the original 3DS release as well. And this mighty dark, and it's mighty dark in there, so you'll want this flashlight. Thank you. Okay, youngster, let's test the DS. Also, this ringtone is a banger. It's a banger. Funny enough, this was my ringtone for a while. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and mark an important location for you. Ooh, thank you. And as you can see, one major difference right away is that, considering the fact that this was originally a Nintendo 3DS title, the map has been moved from the quote-unquote bottom screen to the top right-hand corner. So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And why couldn't Square Enix do this for Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days? Because money! Honestly, I have no clue. That's the garage. I think that's where I left the Poltergust 5000. You ready, son? I'll zap you into the Gloomy Manor with my new and largely untested pixelator. Oh, great idea, my friend. Great idea. Let's hope all the pixels make it this time. Hold on to your mustache. Hold on to your butts, because here you go. Excuse me. Hello, Supercolics. Welcome to the stream. Glad you can make it, and it's good to see you too.
Oh, here I go.
Nice landing. Welcome everyone to the first mansion, the Gloomy Manor. Gotta say, this place is quite something. And also, I just realized I need to change the controls because they did not carry over. They're not system-wide. So I'm going to go ahead and disable the motion sensor because that is just my that's just my preferred way of playing the game. You can choose to use motion controls by moving the controller like this and all over the place, and if you're using the Joy-Cons, you would be doing the same sort of thing with the motion controls. It's up to you how you wish to play the game, but of course I will be keeping on HD Rumble. Right stick, you can change whatever mode it's currently set to, which is either omnidirectional or horizontal only. Omnidirectional mode rotates Luigi left and right and aims equipment with up and down. Horizontal mode only turns them left and right, so it only turns to face the direction the right stick is tilted in. So yeah, I'm keeping it omnidirectional because that's just my preferred way of playing the game. The X-axis controls, right now I'm going to have it set to standard. Y-axis, I'm going to set this to inverted because that's my preferred way of messing around with the Y-axis, where down is up is down. So when it comes to certain settings like the X-axis and Y-axis, this setting affects camera movement and when you look around for the X-axis in first person. Y-axis setting affects camera movement when you aim equipment and when you look around in first person perspective. Now, first person motion sensor sensitivity. If you have motion controls turned on, then you can adjust the sensitivity here from standard to low to high. There is I wouldn't say there's like a bit of an extreme between the different settings, but if you are choosing to use motion controls, then that's entirely up to you. You can set the motion sensor sensitivity when you look around in first person. The setting does not affect how you aim equipment or balance on a tightrope. Tightropes will not come into play until the second mansion, so keep that in mind. So first person stick sensitivity, on the other hand, I don't think we're going to be worrying about this too much. I'm going to keep it on standard for now. You can also choose to show or disable the minimap. So if you want a more classic feel, there you go, it's right there. TV mode brightness. You can change the brightness between 3 settings: dimmer, standard, brighter, brightest, okay, or dimmest. Adjust the brightness until King Boo is barely visible. And it looks like the dimmest settings, he is still clearly visible, so maybe this has something more so to do with my overall TV brightness. But for right now, I'll keep it on dimmer just to be sure everything looks all nice and pretty. But again, the whole reason why it's like this right now is probably due to the brightness setting on my TV, or just in my capture software. But right now I'm going to keep it on dimmer, just for now. And of course you can look at the controls and learn how everything works. And that's basically that when it comes to the controls. You can also look at the guide as well to view basic information on gameplay, the ScareScraper, which I have not really had the chance to go over yet, but the ScareScraper is this game's multiplayer mode. And as much as I hate to say it, I won't be covering this in this playthrough, and the reason as to why is because unlike the original 3DS release where you can access that particular mode for free, you can't do that in this version. Instead, it relies solely on the Nintendo Switch Online subscription. Of course, there is the matter of being able to play the game locally with a friend. However, they have to be literally in the same room. You have to have 2 Switches, 2 copies of the game, and yeah, it's a bit of a pain. And now that we have the whole Switch 2 thing in the mix, I'm not exactly sure if Switch 1 and Switch 2 players can play with each other. I'm going to say yes, they can for online play, but local play, I'm not so sure. But who knows for sure. Regardless though, like I said, ScareScraper, can't really cover it. I don't have an active subscription to NSO at this point in time. I do plan on renewing at some point in the future, but right now I'm kind of saving up for a Nintendo Switch 2. And I have higher priorities than getting another subscription to another online service. And yeah. Honestly, getting an online sub for NSO right now is not worth it to me. As much as I hate to say it, but hey, what's my opinion on Mario movie with Chris Pratt? Huh? I'll get over that in a minute. Right now we have a phone call. Luigi, come in! Luigi, you there, young feller? Ah, there you are. I was worried that the battery died in the DS. But I turned the screen brightness down, so it should be good for a while. You look a little nervous, son. Try to loosen up a bit. Besides, tiptoeing around won't get us anywhere. You can run by holding the B button while walking. Now get a move on! Now, to get to your question, Super Colex, and what my opinion is on Chris Pratt in the Mario movie. He did a good job voicing Mario in the movie. And, yeah, we're definitely glad we actually gave him a chance while we were watching the movie. Albeit, he did not make a good first impression during the initial trailer. But thankfully, the final movie, he did a heck of a lot better. Boop, boop. Hello? Dang. What do we got in here? Looks like the ghosts are causing quite a lot of mischief here. Funny enough, when it comes to these little cutscenes here, you can technically interact with it in some way by rotating the camera, either with motion controls or with the right analog stick, or a combination of the two. It really depends. It's up to you. Hello? What do we have here? Ah, it's a key! Screw you, Key Mouse! What are you doing outside of Balan Wonderworld? I mean, really, come on now. Yoink! Gimme! Yes, you are supposed to chase the mouse and grab the key. Now then, time to head on inside. Yes, DS as in Nintendo DS. Professor Egad does come up with a rather funny nickname for it. However, we'll have to wait and see what that nickname is a little bit later. Boom! And also, just like with the first Luigi's Mansion game, once a key is used within any given door, it gets eaten. It vanishes without a trace. Now then, I think the vacuum is in here. Yep, here it is, the Poltergust 5000. A nice upgraded model from the, I think the Poltergust 3000, or is it the 2000? Well, either way, it's a new vacuum. Oh dear. Excuse me.
Hello?
Ah, you found it! Good work, Luigi! That there is the new and improved Poltergust 5000. It's simple to use, just hold down ZR to vacuum. Jack Black did surprisingly well as Bowser, in your opinion. If you watched the movie for the first time without looking up the cast, you probably wouldn't think it was him. True, very true. And I definitely agree, Jack Black did do a really good job voicing Bowser in the Mario movie. And I feel like he was the star of the show. I mean, that Peaches song, chef's kiss. Peach. Anyway, before you go hunting ghosts, why don't you test it out on some junk in that room? Go on, give it a whirl. Sure, why not? So not only can you suck with the vacuum, you can also blow with it by, instead of holding ZR, you can push and hold ZL. And I think it's pressure sensitive too, so... Or, no, it's not. I'm crazy. There is one other thing worth mentioning here, and that is I was today years old when I found out that the original 3DS release of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD ran at an uncapped frame rate of up to 60 frames per second. However, most of the time, it was nowhere near that frame rate mark. And as far as I know, or no. Like I was saying, original 3DS had an uncapped frame rate, Switch port has been capped to 30 FPS. But it is a stable 30 FPS, as far as I've noticed. Maybe there will be a Switch 2 update for this game to bump up the frame rate to 60, but who knows? Only one way to find out, and that is to wait and see what Papa Nintendo will do. Anywho, how are you liking the Poltergust 5000 so far, Luigi? Not too shabby, eh? Just wait until you catch some ghosts with that thing. In fact, there should be a few nearby. Oh, and I know you young fellers are all about learning by doing, but you really should take a good look at the guide. Just open the pause menu with the plus button and then select guide. You'll thank me later.
Ciao.
It's definitely a good idea to look up at the guide too. Just saying. Especially if this is your first time playing, because getting used to these controls takes quite a bit of time to figure out. Also, this cutscene is considered missable unless you replay the mission again. It doesn't really prove anything, nor is it required to progress, but even so, still something worth mentioning anyway. And also, just like with the first Luigi's Mansion, interact with everything. And I mean absolutely everything. Suck it all up. Suck up absolutely everything. You never know what you may find. You may end up finding some treasures, which, as you can see, is no longer divided between coins, bills, and gold bars, or gems. Not like the first game. Wait, what the? Is that thing moving? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Funny enough, I'm pretty sure that those helmets will fall at some point. Maybe not during this mission, or even this, this part of the mission at all. And you may be wondering, what am I doing out here? Well, it's actually quite simple, my friends. It's to not only get some treasures, but also to just clean house. See what I did there? I mean, this place is filthy. It's covered in spiderwebs, cobwebs, etc., etc. And like I mentioned earlier, getting used to these controls will take some getting used to. Those ghosts are pretty cute and silly. Yes, they are! They are very cute and silly. And I do like the designs. I just prefer the first game's designs, but that's just me. One important question, are you really General Vol Snivies? No. Aw, that's so cute! Cute little puppy! I want the puppy! That was adorable, but that is a hint for one of the gems that we need in order to fully complete our gem collection for this place. Excuse me. So, when it comes to certain interactable pieces of the environment, believe it or not, sometimes it's better to blow with the vacuum as opposed to, you know, sucking with it. And the reason why I say this is, some things only work if you happen to blow the thing around as opposed to trying to suck it up in vain. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm just saying it's the absolute truth. You may have noticed that weird door on the right that looks to be completely blocked off, and unfortunately we can't really do much of anything with that yet. Oh, hello there, spider. I really wish I could do something about them right now, but unfortunately, we can't do that yet. Not until we acquire one of our very first upgrades. Speaking of upgrades, as we progress through the game and collect treasures and things like that, we will be able to upgrade our Poltergust 5000. And I believe there are roughly 4 or 5 levels worth, and each upgrade makes the vacuum that much more powerful. Yeah, I hate spiders too. Ugh, creepy little creatures. Oh dear. Oh, and by the way, don't be afraid to look around these walls, especially if it looks like paper, because that means you can suck up that wallpaper and just, you know, acquire some really good treasures. Also be careful and try not to get hit. Thankfully, unlike the original game or the original Luigi's Mansion, thankfully, Unlike the original where you would lose a little bit of money every time you get hit, this game, no, you don't need to worry about that. You just lose some health. Well, thanks for telling me where the thing is, you jerks. Hi there. How you doing? Want a party? You have a problem with 2 and 3 games because the shape of the doors and windows looked like cartoony, while in the OG it looked like an actual mansion with the fear of the ghost. Very true. Very, very true. I 100% agree. Oh, hello. Sweet. So what is this gold bone? Well, looks like we're about to find out. Do I have to catch them? Do I have to catch the ghosts? That's gonna be a yes.
Oh, yellow.
Excuse me. You seem to have found something very special there, Luigi. I heard that your chances of finding one of those is better if you have a lot of treasure. I get the feeling that the bone will come in handy when you need it most. But that's just a wild guess. Yep, pure speculation. Excuse me. So when it comes to the golden bone in particular, they start spawning within objects and things of that nature after you collect roughly 200 gold worth of treasure. So that's actually pretty nice. You can only carry one bone at a time, and in fact, after the first one spawns, no more bones will spawn for the remainder of the mission. Luigi, do you see that green cylinder panel on the wall? It unlocks the door. All you gotta do is splash it with the... Criminy! The Poltergeist 5000 is missing the strobe bulb! You won't be able to open that door without it. Those pesky ghosts must have hid it somewhere. It looks like a little green light bulb. Which, funny enough, we actually seen something like that not that long ago. Find it! Post haste! That I will. In fact, it's not too far away from our current vicinity. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and grab this thing now, shall we? Just one thing to keep in mind, once you lower up down this chandelier, it will, I think it'll only stay down for a limited time. So be quick. Don't be walking around like a fool. Run, run, run like the green man you are.
Ho ho. Yeah. Oh. Ha ha. Oh.
Oh, there we go. Ow! Dude, not in the face, man. Yeah, that stuns and that shit can hurt. Whoa there, feller, don't go flashing yourself with that. Flashbang through the door. The strobe bulb isn't a toy, it's a powerful tool. For one thing, it can activate any of my inventions that feature a green circular panel, or green circular panels. And it's mighty easy to use. Just aim and press the A button to flash. Try it on the nearby door. You know what? I'm actually going to disagree with that. By that I mean, you don't need to use the A button. You can just push and hold the R button. Yep, just like a flashbang. Yes, indeed. That's how it works. So, you can use the A button to flash the flashlight, but whenever you're chasing down multiple ghosts and things like that, I would not recommend using that particular method of flashing your enemies. Instead, what you should be using as far as button configuration is concerned, use the R button instead. You will have a much easier time when it comes to using the flashlight and just overall having a better time combating against the ghosts. And by the way, the flashlight, the flash effectiveness, you do have to charge over time. And I think it takes roughly 5-ish, okay, maybe not that long. It takes about 3 or so seconds for it to be fully charged. However, you can still stun ghosts and just flash other objects just by simply pushing the button. Albeit the flash is a lot smaller and not as effective, as you can see right there. Oh, hello! There's our first gem. Technically our second. But still, I don't think we can even get our first gem right now. But who knows? Doing some gemstone hunting on the side, eh, feller? Can't say I blame you. Those gems are one of a kind. Worth a fortune, I reckon. But remember, you got a job to do. You'll have time to look at your gems later in the vault. Carry on, youngster. So if you're flashing environmental objects like flowers and things like that, trying to make them bloom, one thing you should definitely do is, well, charge up your flashlight and BAM! Unleash the light and make them blinded by the light. No, seriously, it's surprisingly effective. More ways than one. Alright, let's go ahead and check it out. Check out this panel here.
Just to suffer.
Nice one, Super Colex. Nice channel redemption. That's the ticket, Sonny. But there's more. The strobe bulb allows you to stun ghosts by flashing them. Only then can they be captured. Got that? Now go give those paranormal dummies, dumb dust bunnies what for. That I will, my friend. That I will. So one thing you're definitely going to get used to when it comes to controlling this game is kind of playing in a claw-like formation like this. Especially when it comes to... Oh, mice. Screw you, mice. So yeah, claw is the way to play this game. I'm just saying. Just the best way to go. That's all I'm saying. Can't really do much in there, unfortunately. You would think there would be something else out here besides that one gem, but at this point in time, that's gonna be a no. Well, now that we finally got our strobe light... Actually, now that I'm really thinking about it... I wonder if I can do something in here now. I'm gonna say no. Okay, then. Guess I'll have to wait till later. No big deal. So one other thing about the night statues, as you've probably seen, you thought you could only play those on my end whenever I was playing Banjo-Kazooie. Well, thanks to StreamerBot, I'm now able to set it as a channel reward and play the sound effect just like that, right from my desktop audio. So, overall, the streams are a little bit more interactive now. I love StreamerBot so much. I'm glad that, I was able to find it as of recently. In fact, that was how I discovered Nutty, as they were a very big contributor to the StreamerBot, although I do know that it was created by someone else, but even so, just saying. Is there a Banjo game you haven't played yet? Well, there is Banjo Pilot. That's the only Banjo game that I haven't played yet, as far as I know, but I don't really consider that a Banjo game. Oh, hello there. I also noticed there were some coins back here. Another one of those fake wallpapers. Kinda difficult to see, especially in the dark. But, again, well worth it if you happen to know what you're doing. Okay, let's go back through here. Oh. Ooh, more treasure. I like that. Like I said, interact with absolutely everything. You never know what you may find. You may not only find some additional gold and things like that, but you may even find a gem or two along the way. Okay, serious question. How is it that the ghosts can even take a shower? They're non-tangible. Are we gonna go with Pokemon logic here, where they can choose to make themselves tangible temporarily? Or what? I have no idea. I mean, they did bonk on the wall not that long ago, but still. So anyway, as you've seen, it's now time for our first ghost busting venture. It's actually pretty easy, all things considered. All you have to do is shine the light in their face, show them the way of the Lord, and then suck them up into the promised land. And it's as simple as that. Pretty sure a ghost doesn't smell, it's only a spirit. True. Very true. Ooh, nice! Double kill! Double capture, rather. Pretty sure a ghost doesn't smell, it's only a spirit. True. I think they only did just lure Luigi into a trap. So, probably for the lulz. Anywho, that's the spirit, Luigi. Literally. Just like old times, eh, feller? Alright, that's enough for now. I'll bring you back to the bunker. So yeah, we don't explore the whole mansion all in one go. Unfortunately, not like the original game where it's like divided into 4 areas. Instead, it is purely mission-based. And depending on what you happen to do and how well you performed, you will be given a rank between 1 to 3 stars. And what determines your overall rank and what is considered the best rank is your clear time, the amount of ghosts that you capture throughout the entire mission, and the amount of health that you lost. And for getting a 3-star ranking, it is very important to not get hit at all, because some missions are generous when it comes to health management and just overall being able to obtain a 3-star ranking, but most missions are not. You can maybe take 1 or 2 hits, but that's about it. Other than that, try not to get hit too much, otherwise you will not only go to the Shadow Realm, but you'll get a game over too. And of course, capture as many ghosts as you can, and also you gotta complete these missions fast. The clear time, I feel like, is the second most important factor, while the most important factor is the amount of health that you lost throughout the mission. And recovering health, unfortunately, does not undo any health lost when it comes to this total. So keep that in mind. It is possible for the health loss total to go over 100 points. And yeah, at that point, you basically all but lost the 3-star ranking altogether at that point. You can also view whatever gems you happen to have collected throughout the mission too, or throughout the entire mansion in general, at any time, either back in the bunker, or during the mission results screen, or even during the mission select screen. So, yeah, let's continue now, shall we? And when it comes to the whole ranking thing, I don't plan on going for 3 stars on every single one of these missions in this playthrough, as I've already done that in my original playthrough of the game. And let me tell you, it was very frustrating, especially on a good chunk of missions. I'm telling you, 3-starring some of these missions is a doozy. You made it back, and with all your pixels to boot. Good work, Sonny. We might just make it out of this mess. Let's see what you sucked up with the Poltergust 5000. Sounds good. Oh, damn my butt. Just stick it in and blow, baby, blow. Anywho, let's take a look and see what we got. Got ourselves a circle gem, one of these gems, and some new ghosts. Albeit they're not quote-unquote new. And of course, whatever gold you have happened to have collected also gets deposited into the bunker as well. And our first upgrade is unlocked at 2,000 gold. And of course it will overlap and go over towards the next goal if we happen to meet it, so that's pretty nice. And like I mentioned, upgrading your Poltergust 5000 is very, very essential. It's an absolute must if you want to get all 3-star rankings on all missions, because trust me, you're going to need it. You're going to need every single upgrade, let me tell you. Incredible! I'll start sending these ghosts post-hastes. Eh? Wondering where that pipe goes? All that stuff you collect goes to a special safe vault below. It's a good idea to visit it often to check your progress and see the results of my studies. I've got ghost descriptions, hints, even each ghost's spiritual mass. Knowledge is power, after all, which is absolutely true. Because if you have trouble capturing a single ghost and you think one in particular is a pain in the behind to get, then after you capture it and return to the bunker after completing your mission, you can read up on the ghost and you might even discover a hint as to how to better deal with them in the future. I wish that hint was available right away, but hey, it's a good thing actually, because it allows the player to figure it out for themselves. You know, as EGAD just said, knowledge is power, and so is experience. Okay, I'll scan the Gloomy Manor in search for paranormal signals. I reckon the ghost that took the other Dark Moon pieces is hiding in there. I definitely agree with you there. As you may have noticed, there's actually a second circular icon of which we can fill. However, that won't come into play until a short time later, when we're introduced to a very, very familiar foe. But for now, before we head back into the Gloomy Manor, let's check out the vault. And the reason why I'm heading down there? Well, I just want to show it off. And I'll show you exactly what we can find down here. Whee! Oof. Talk about a nasty drop. Well, anyway, here in the vault, we'll be able to take a look at the ghost container, and as EGAD mentioned, we can take a look at all the ghosts that we captured, take a look at how many we captured of that particular species, see the greatest mass for each one, and we can even read a description of them. Hell, we can even get a nice view of them, too, by just rotating the right analog stick, going up and down and all around, like, whee! Just like that. We can also zoom in on the ghosts as well by pushing ZL and ZR respectively. And as far as we have when it comes to the ghosts, there are two different categories. We have the Evershade Valley ghosts as well as the ScareScraper ghosts, which, as I mentioned previously, unfortunately I cannot truly 100% the game because 100% completion requires a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, or 2 Nintendo Switches and 2 copies of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, or a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 and 2 copies of the game. I'm just saying, it's quite expensive being a completionist for this game. But what I consider to be full completion is completing the single-player campaign. But that's just me and my silly little opinion. Anywho, over here we can take a look at all the gems that we collected, and once we collect them all, we'll be able to view something pretty dang spectacular. But of course, we'll have to wait until we get every single gem within the first manor, aka the Gloomy Manor, before we can take a look at the special surprise. And as far as this is concerned, this is the upgrades. We'll be able to view and see whatever upgrades we happen to have acquired. We haven't gotten any just yet, but if you need a refresher on what upgrades you have acquired up to this point, you can take a look right here. And as far as this is concerned, well, this won't come into play until quite a bit later. For now, let's go ahead and exit. And as you can see, this game does have an autosave feature. I believe it was also a part of the original 3DS release, but hey, I just feel like pointing it out. Now then, let's head back into the Dark Moon quest. But before then, when it comes to the ScareScraper, you can't exactly go in here right away. You need to complete a minimum number of missions within the Gloomy Manor. And as far as how many missions you have to complete, I think you have to complete roughly 3 or 4 missions before you get access to the ScareScraper. And again, if you really want to go inside, you do need a Nintendo Switch Online subscription. The cheapest tier, that being the $20 a year tier, at least here in the States, that one will get you in no problem. You can also get the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack membership for $50, at least here in the States. But again, a bit overkill, but that also grants you access to the place too. So, it's up to you. Anywho, let's get back to the game. Let's get back and jump into Mission A-2, Gear Up. Now that you're properly equipped, let's find those Dark Moon pieces. Paranormal readings are stronger in the north rooms of the Gloomy Manor, so we should start our search there. Agreed. Ready for some more action? Ah, you're a courageous lad. He's like, no, I'm not. You got me confused with someone else. Anyway, you know, you remind me of myself at your age, feller. Those were the days. Anywho, we need to start searching for the rest of the Dark Moon. Luckily, I got just the invention to make our job easier. I call it the Periscope, a tip-top device that detects and measures distant paranormal signals. In fact, I just used it to scan the Gloomy Manor and I found some strong activity in the north rooms. That's where we'll start our search. You haven't changed a bit, my boy. There's no reason to be scared now that you're equipped with my mighty Poltergust 5000. Now, details. There's a mechanism that controls the access to that section. The access mechanism is in the foyer. I'll give you instructions once you get there. Okay, sounds good to me. And believe it or not, we actually seen something like this during the first mission, so yeah, might be worth a look. Got all that? Good. Now get a move on. Sounds good. Time to dive back in and have some more fun. Here we go. Welcome back. Welcome back to the main entrance of this place. And if I have to guess, maybe now we'll finally get the opportunity to get the gem that's supposed to be in this room somewhere. Maybe. I'm not sure. I swear we should be able to get the thing, but no. Doesn't appear to be the case right now. Also, during later missions, you can go back to earlier rooms most of the time and get some additional coins and treasures and things like that. So one thing worth mentioning when it comes to the mice, that is, they can do that. They can be a frickin' asshole and just trip you up. Unfortunately, that does count as a hit and you lose health as a result. They can also blindside you too, which makes it that much more annoying, especially if you're going for a 3-star rank. And these little buggers can easily cost you the rank. Which, unfortunately, I believe they did. But, you know, like I said, I'm not really going for 3 stars on this playthrough, as nice as it would be. I'm just saying, I've done it once before during my first playthrough of the game. I don't plan on doing that again. I'm just focusing on everything else. Oh, hi there, spider. Goodbye. Oh, stupid bat, go away. So yeah, when it comes to all the different animal spirits you may have seen around here, like the spiders and the bats and things like that, slashing them with your flashlight will produce some additional treasures like coins and bills. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it's worth it to give them the good old flash bang and send them to the afterlife. Other times it may be more worth it just to suck them up and just get them the heck out of there. Just saying, it's not exactly the best of times dealing with them either way, because they can easily trip you up, cause you to lose health, and just, yeah, it adds up over time. Keep that in mind. Also, you may have noticed this gem up here. Previously, we did collect this, and if we happen to have collected a gem previously, it will show up as a crystallized silhouette. It doesn't really add to our totals or anything like that. It's just there if you want to collect it again. So it's there to not only collect once more, but it's also there to help keep track of which gems you've collected and which ones you haven't. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, I'm going to leave these mice alone, because they are not worth my time. All they drop is a single coin anyway. Ooh, that's a big boy. And of course, he has to frickin' destroy the mechanism. Beauty. Real beautiful. Well, despite the fact that they are kind of acting hostile and stuff, they are pretty dang intelligent. I mean, they're planning, they're causing mischief and trouble and things like that. You know, that's not something we've seen in the original Luigi's Mansion, so props to that. Dang blasted ghosts! Luigi, those brutes just stole the gears for the access mechanism I told you about. I'll use the periscope to find them, then you can use the map on the DS to hunt them down. Oh, I'm terrified. The terrified look in your eyes just gave me a great idea. From now on, I'm gonna call the DS, this is a genius, the Dual Scream! I love that name, by the way. Very clever for EGAD. Dual Scream! Oh! You'll want to open up the map in Dual Scream, and use it to locate the brute ghosts in the West Wing. The map has a whole slew of features, so be sure to mess around with it later. But for now, get those gears back! Look lively! Look sharp, because things are about to go from crazy to crazier in a matter of seconds. So anyway, as you can see, our primary objective is to recover those gears. And no, I'm not talking about the Gears of War. Although I would not be surprised if it ends up coming to Switch 2 at some point, because it's already coming to PlayStation. Yeah, an Xbox game coming to PlayStation. Who do you think Microsoft is now? Sega? That's a yes, actually. Now, you may be wondering, what am I doing in here? Well, obviously, I'm running around collecting some treasures, but I'm also searching for something else that tends to spawn around here. Although, it makes me wonder if they will spawn right now, or if, oh, there you are! That's what we call a tricky speedster. Just like those, blue ghosts that you can find optionally in the original Luigi's Mansion, as soon as they appear, bada bing, bada boom, they start zooming like crazy. And if they vanish, then they're gone for the remainder of the mission. But if you manage to catch them, then you'll get some additional treasures. And let me tell you, the amount of treasures you get from them is pretty substantial. So keep that in mind. Dude, really now? Jerk. Speaking of that, I wish gaming consoles were discontinued after a couple of years. I can't say I agree with you there, my friend, because, well, we kind of do need gaming consoles, and they do kind of make the world go round, you know? Same also holds true with console exclusivity, you know what I mean? I mean, when are we gonna find Super Mario on the PlayStation? Oh, I'll tell you, never! And if anyone tells you that my son wants Super Mario Odyssey for the PlayStation 5, tell them that they're clearly lying. Clearly they are misinformed. Oh, you mean they were not discontinued? Okay, now I understand. Now this is probably one of the most annoying ghosts to deal with in this entire game. Great. So, when it comes to this particular ghosty poo, yeah, they tend to hide within the different objects within the room. And if you happen to take too long to find them, they will reveal themselves by throwing banana peels onto the floor. And if you happen to slip on one, you will lose some health. Yeah, kind of crazy. And yes, that does make sense. Slipping and falling does hurt, especially if you're older, because Oh lord. If you have something like arthritis or any sort of problems with back pain and things like that, that hurts. Trust me. Falling down the stairs and things like that, it's not fun. It's not fun in the slightest. Just saying. But yeah, they are quite tricky. And once you reveal their location, one thing I will go ahead and say here is once they're revealed, flash them incredibly quickly. Don't bother charging your flashlight. Just saying, it's not worth it. Don't bother charging the flashlight. Just give them a quick flashbang, like boom, just like that, and start sucking them up like nobody's business. Just saying. If you don't do that, then you're gonna have all kinds of problems. There's one other thing too. As you may have noticed, those spiders right there were gold. If you happen to flash them, they'll spawn gold bars as opposed to coins. So that's pretty dang neat. Flash them if you can. If you happen to suck them up, then you lose the gold bar. Keep that in mind as well. Although it does make you ask, is it really worth it? Also, fun fact about that grandfather clock-like thing right there. Believe it or not, that displays your actual time based on the system clock. So right now, it displays as 11:23, which upon the home menu is reflected on the top right-hand corner. So that's actually a really nice little detail. Same also holds true for the Nintendo 3DS release of the game too. Okay, before I start spinning around that record player, make it go round round, I kind of want to grab all this stuff that's around here. Trust me, it's worth it. Because of them. Oh, gee! Nice miss. When it comes to catching ghosts, you definitely want to try to catch as many as you possibly can. Trust me, it's well worth it. For one, you'll not only get some gold bars, but it also essentially kills two birds with one stone. Pun not intended. Anywho, at least we recovered our first gear piece. 1 down, 3 to go. You wonder if Luigi has ever thought about joining Ghostbusters. Well, considering that he is a bit of a scaredy cat, I'm going to say no. Although that would be kind of cool if he did join Ghostbusters. Hello, what do we have over here? Another little hidey hole to look through, huh? Looks like another one of those gears that those big boy ghosts stole. And as far as let's see, reminder. Okay, I was just checking out the Gmail. It had something to do with my PayPal, and it's really nothing to worry about there. I think it was just saying, hey, you can use your PayPal funds that are in there to do some online shopping in certain places. So that's pretty neat. There is one other thing when it comes to bonuses that I haven't really mentioned yet, and that is, if you happen to hold on to the gold bone for the duration of the mission, you'll get an additional 200 gold added on top of your score. So that can also be a big determining factor of whether or not you get a 3-star ranking or not. So keep that in mind as well. As far as what the gold bone actually does, well, if you happen to lose all your health, instead of getting a game over, what will happen is you will be revived with it. However, once you use the gold bone, then that's it. It's gone. It's gone for the remainder of the mission. And no more will spawn afterwards. Ooh, triple capture. Hell yeah. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Yoink. Now, as far as these big red ghosts, what they tend to do, if you leave them alone, they will slam jam the floor like nobody's business. So try to capture them as soon as you can. Also, how the hell is it that those mice were not flashbanged into the frickin'... Never mind. They were only briefly protected due to cutscene land. afterwards, they just vanished without a trace. And as you can see, we have yet another weird gem that is hidden in a painting. What's that about? Well, we can't quite do anything about that yet, unfortunately. But despite that, at least we now know where one of the gems are, so we can easily come back to this mission, do it again, and pick up the gem later. So really, when it comes to gem hunting, I would recommend waiting to go gem hunting until after you fully upgraded the Poltergust 5000. Okay, I only got one. That's not good. Damn you. Well, joke's on you. I still caught your friend. So, get in here, jerkwad. Oh, hi. How you doing, buddy? Get in here. So as far as controls are concerned when it comes to sucking up the ghost, obviously you need to start sucking and pulling in the opposite direction in which the ghost is running away from, which is a lot easier said than done, especially with some of the trickier ghosts later in the game. But even so, early game ghosts, not too bad. Oh, hello, what do we have here? Another gem, I see. Due to the way the camera works in here, it can be kinda tricky. Kinda tricky to find certain gems that are hidden behind the environment, things like that. So, here we go. There's the gem. Another one added to the collection. Boop. And there we go. The way is cleared. Door is cleared. Good to go. Oh dear. Frickin' bat! Pushing the wrong button. Gotta hate those things. Frickin' bats, I tell ya. I mean, they only produce bills, but they do tend to get in your frickin' way more often than not, and that is very, very annoying. Hello. A picture of the library and another poltergeist. Holy moly. Did I hear that Princess Peach's voice actor, Samantha Kelly, will no longer voice her? Yes, I've heard of that. That's really sad, and she only found out after Mario Kart World was released. Which, that's really scummy in my opinion. Finding out after a video game has released, that's just... no. Ugh. That really sucks, though. I really did enjoy her voice as Princess Peach for all these years. Same also holds true for Charles Martinet, with him voicing Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi. It was nice that he did make a cameo appearance in the Mario movie as some of the background characters, but even so, still kind of wish he did voice his animated counterpart. But hey, Chris Pratt did do a good job. Is he the best Mario voice actor ever? No. But still, just saying, I just prefer Charles. I know he's getting old and I know he has to retire at some point in his life. Just saying, it's just a matter of preference. You know what I mean? This looks rather interesting. Can't really interact with that yet. You also believe in new opportunities for new people who... Yes, that's true. New opportunities for new voices to come in and voice these iconic characters. That's perfectly fine, and yeah. To be fair, the new voice actor for both Mario and Luigi right now, he's actually doing pretty good when it comes to his roles so far. I mean, he's only lent his voice to Mario and Luigi respectively in a couple of games up to this point. As far as what games, I believe he voices Mario and Luigi in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Another one would be Mario and Luigi Brothership. As far as what else, there's also the aforementioned Mario Kart World. But as far as other Mario games are concerned, I'm not too sure.
Oh. Yellow.
Anyway, Luigi, how goes it, my boy? Excuse me. You found all 4 gears? Then quick! Oh, that quick? Well, you got there in the end. Good work, Sonny. Now head back to the foyer and put the gears back in the access mechanism.
Ciao.
That I will. But before I do, I kind of want to see what we got over here. That looks rather interesting. Unfortunately, there's not much else we can do in here for the time being. We'll have to wait until quite a bit later. We'll be back in that room again in due time, trust me. Gosh dang it. I wanted the coins that were in here, not... Whatever. No big deal. From what you know so far, you think Kenny James is still Bowser. Yeah, I think that's true. But who knows how long that's gonna remain a fact. Hopefully he stays as Bowser for many more years to come, but we'll see. Well, one thing's for sure, Luigi is no mechanic and no electrician. He's a plumber, gosh dang it, and also a part-time ghostbuster. Why the long face, Luigi? Well, genetics, I suppose. Criminy, the gears don't fit into the mechanism. Those brute ghosts must have bent them or something. I suppose I'll have to repair them in order to make them work. Well, at least you recovered all of them. And it looks like you captured some very interesting ghosts. I can't wait to check them out. I'll bring you back now. Sounds good. Although it does beg the question, why is it that you couldn't bring me back sooner? Who knows? Oh well, it's fine. 2-star. Called it. Why? Simple. Those mice. They're the ones that caused me to lose the rank. Dang it all. Oh well, it is what it is. Not a big deal. Like I said, I'm not going for all missions with a 3-star ranking in this playthrough because, like I mentioned previously, I've already done it during my first playthrough of the game. And yeah, not worth going for again because you don't get much of anything at all other than a little crown on the file select screen. Good work, Luigi. I knew I should have called you first. Let's have a look at those gears. Although, I think he's the only one EGAD can call. It's not like you can call Mario and ask him to do it, but I'll come up with something to make him work again. Now, let's unload the Poltergust 5000 and see what kind of ghostly goodies you got. Sounds good. And I believe we can now afford our first upgrade. There's our first gem, second gem, and there's our big ghosty man. And a little skinny ghosty boy, or girl, and a big golden ghost. Ooh, just enough. Just barely enough for our first upgrade, which is Poltergust Upgrade Level 2. So what this means is that while we're sucking up ghosts, we can let the bar charge up an additional level and deal even more damage. When vacuuming up a ghost, you'll be able to charge the power gauge longer, weakening the ghost even more when you press A when the button lights up. I was right, these new ghosts are very interesting indeed. Such spectacular specimens. And they won't be making any more trouble for us now that they're in the vault. In the vault, you can review all the types of ghosts that you captured. And while you're there, feel free to read my research notes on their ghostly behavior. And analyzing the paranormal signatures of ghosts also helps me fine-tune the old periscope. Now, skedaddle! I need to figure out a way to make those gears work again. And make those gears great again. Anyway. Excuse me. I definitely needed a quick drink. Anywho, Mission 3. According to the periscope, the ghostly activity in the north section of Gloomy Manor is increasing. Now that you've recovered the gears, we should be able to investigate. So, let's do that. Hey there, Luigi. Now, where were we? Oh yes, the access mechanism in the foyer. There you go. Use this crank to operate the access mechanism. And I also find it kind of funny and also really jarring that the character models just freeze in place whenever certain actions like this happen. It's just, why? I think this was a leftover thing back in the original Nintendo 3DS release, but still, kind of unsettling, you know? But that's just me. Anyone else feel the same? Anyway, let's continue. Once you do that, you'll be able to access the north rooms in the gloomy manor. Criminy, do you hear that? The periscope is picking up an audible signal from the very same area we're trying to reach. Let's see here. It's music? How odd. If I remember rightly, there's a grand piano in the library. Maybe a ghost is playing around on it. Anywho, let me just mark where you need to head on the old dual screen map. And there it is. That's the library. Luigi, this is the strongest paranormal signal we've seen yet. With a signal that strong, I reckon the ghost playing the piano might be giving orders to the other ghosts. No time to waste, my boy. Get to the library and catch that ghost. Sure thing. Although I highly doubt that that particular ghost is like the big boss, if you know what I mean. I think there's something more to it than meets the eye, but even so. Boom, baby. Nice landing. Now, again, you can choose to re-explore older areas and get a few extra coins here and there if you really want to. And yes, that can make a difference between getting an S rank, not an S rank, a 3-star rank versus a 2-star or even a 1-star rank. But hey, I'm just saying, just something else you could do. Actually, now that I'm really thinking about it, there are certain interactable objects that may hold a pretty powerful secret. And those secrets only show up during certain missions. So that's something to keep in mind. And I don't think this is one of those missions, but I feel like that doghouse right there has something rather important. Although that important thing only... It seems like that only shows up during a certain mission. As far as which mission it is, I do not know off the top of my head. Oh well, it's fine. Whoa. As you may have noticed, those knights have disappeared. What's up with that? Something's kind of fishy around here. Well, we'll find a way to fix that soon enough. Although, it is nice being able to walk down that hallway without fear of being slashed into a million pieces. You know? Or turned into a frickin' Thanksgiving ham. Anywho, let's go ahead and take care of this thing. Ooh, there we go. Well, looks like now we can finally access the top floor around here. Sweet. Although before we head inside, I do want to take a look around and see what else I can find. Maybe I'll find another tricky speedster around here. Which, funny enough, I do believe they have set spawn points. And sometimes they will appear in earlier areas that you've explored. However, there is one other thing to keep in mind, and that is... Oh, hi there. Speak of the devil, and they shall appear. Beautiful. Okay, that was nice. So anyway, one thing worth mentioning here is... We'll be right back after these messages.
Yellow.
Hey there, Sonny. I noticed you've been busy collecting coins, bills, and gold bars. Nothing wrong with that. The mansion is abandoned, so find your keepers, I suppose. As a matter of fact, I'm also gathering some resources of my own. Yep, I'm gonna use them to develop upgrades for the Poltergust 5000. Good luck on your treasure hunt, young feller.
Ciao.
What's kind of funny is that I think you are supposed to get that well before you received your first upgrade. But since we've already received our first upgrade, it no longer makes any sort of sense. And yet, here we are. Hello there. Shall we play a game? Oh dear. One thing worth mentioning here as well is when it comes to the whole ghost busting thing and just hunting down these ghosts, is even if they go invisible, it's still possible to flash them if you know exactly where they are. So even if they just went invisible, you can still give them the old flashbang, show them the light of the Lord and the Lord Almighty, and bada bing bada boom, give them the good old sucky suck. Don't take that the wrong way. Just saying. Jeez. I was going to say something else earlier, but then I got distracted by Egad. Egad! I got distracted again! Oh, hello there. Doesn't look like we can do much up here in the library for the time being. Also, hi there, ghosts. I mean, spiders. Dude, come on. Stop it. That's one thing I do find annoying about the game and its controls. It can be a bit on the clunky side. And of course, more often than not, it can end up getting you killed. And another very annoying thing is if you are hunting treasures, enemies tend to spawn whenever you're going in the opposite direction of where they are, which is... Ugh. God, that's annoying. Same with the stupid mouse! They are the freaking worst, I swear. God, I hate the mice in this game. Some of the most annoying creatures, because they zoom at random, and they just love to ruin your freaking day and ruin your 3-star run. Always. Freaking always. I mean, so far, I think we've lost 50 health? That's not good. Talk about annoying. I feel like I lose health more often to hazards than I do the ghosts around here. What's up with that? Oh, I know. Skill issue. You heard that Chris Pratt is a big follower of Jesus Christ. I did not know that. That's neat. Also, I apologize for not getting to your comment until just now, Super Colex. I was in the middle of a tangent. What can I say? Also, here we have a little safe here. Oh, hello. That is a pretty tricky hiding spot, let me tell you. What do we have over here? Big ass spider wall we can't really do much against. And as you can see, it does have a gold bar and some other things around here, which unfortunately we can't do anything about right now. But even so... Oh, bats! Freaking bats! Dang it. Of course I got hit. Only me, am I right? That's why I say when it comes to bats and things like that, sometimes if they just happen to appear right on top of you, it's a better idea to just suck them up and just take the L. Pun not intended. Just take the L and move on. Better to suck them up and play it safe than to take some unnecessary damage trying to get some additional bills. Who do you think you are, Wario? Money is not the name of the game. It's survival to the fittest, and also getting these ghosts out of here. Also, you may notice, starting in this mission, some of the ghosts are going to start using different pieces of the environment as a means of shielding themselves when it comes to... Hell, they may even use them as weaponry against you. Keep that in mind. Nice. There is one other thing I will mention too, and that is when it comes to sucking up certain ghost varieties and certain ghost species, the little green ghosts, they only have 10 HP, so just sucking them up with a level 1 suck would be the best way of taking them down. And the reason why I say this, it's pretty obvious. If you happen to just suck them up without doing the big suction action, then unfortunately you miss out on coins and treasures, as it would just get rid of them entirely. Which does kind of stink, but it is what it is. Hey you, welcome to the library. What's up, Doc? Sorry, I had to say it. Alright, here we go. Time for one of the most annoying ghosts in the game. Not the most annoying, but definitely right up there. When it comes to this ghost in particular, what they tend to do is stay invisible, try to attack you from a distance, and when they throw things at you, they will reveal themselves, which means you can flashbang them, but that is a bit easier said than done, because you still have to dodge their projectile. Dude, come on, throw your book! Damn it! Missed again! Oh, never mind. That still worked. There is one other thing worth mentioning here, and I actually discovered this little technique by complete accident, which is if you happen to push the B button while you're sucking up the ghosts, you can jump into the air. Sure, you'll lose your suction power up to that point, but it will help with protecting you from attacks. And yeah, as you can see, if you happen to get intercepted or hit against any other projectile or ghost, then unfortunately, that means that you're gonna lose the ghost in general. Like I said, I discovered the jumping technique by complete accident during my initial playthrough. I believe it is in the original 3DS release, but still, something worth mentioning. If you're having trouble with dealing with projectiles and other ghosts interfering with your plans, just push the B button to jump into the air like a frickin' rocket man. Just be sure to keep the right trigger held down, aka the ZR button. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a rough time. Anywho, you okay, Luigi? How was he getting out when you were sucking him in? Interception. Unfortunately, that can happen if your animation gets interrupted. There's a good chance that the ghost will end up getting free. So keep that in mind. However, if they are in the process of being sucked in, I mean going something like that, then they will still be sucked into the vacuum. So that's pretty nice. You had me worried for a minute there, kiddo. Those big-brained ghosts sure put up a fight. The way that, they were throwing all those books at you reminds me of my college professors. Egad, man. Telling you how it is. Excuse me. Anywho, I'll bring you back now so I can study those magnificent specimens. What's kind of funny is that once you acquire all the upgrades for the Poltergeist 5000 or just fully complete this place, you'll be able to sequence break a couple of missions. However, this is the only place you can do that, which is kind of strange. Even stranger is like, how the hell is this still a freaking 3-star? It's Team 3-star! Pretty nice. I was expecting a big fat L on that one, but hey, I'm cool with that. Now then, time to turn these ghosts in and see what we got when it comes to our current, you know, our current repertoire, I guess. I don't know. Hello, Luigi. Good to see you back in one piece. And let me tell you, the One Piece is real. And I have the science to prove it! Anywho, more gems, another ghost, and some more treasures. Our next upgrade is unlocked at 4,000 gold. And also, whatever gold you have acquired previously from the previous upgrade is added to your total, so we're less than, we're roughly 1,500 gold away from our next upgrade, which is pretty dang sweet. Also, I do believe that certain upgrade tiers can still be unlocked despite not having certain pieces of equipment. However, those upgrades are not applied until you grab that piece of equipment. So, yeah, if you want to farm the first mission over and over again, then by all means, go to town and have fun. Anywho, those brainy poltergeists sure are strong, but they don't seem to be in charge of the other ghosts. I reckon they're still worth studying, though. It's just so fascinating how some ghosts can evolve into more advanced forms. What you're seeing is advanced ghost fare. Who do you think I am, Kevin Spacey? Anyway, I don't fully understand the nature of their power, but I will one day. It will be my legacy in the world of paranormal science. And you, Luigi. Once this is all over, you'll finally step out of your brother's shadow and be recognized as a true hero. I mean, how is he not already a true hero? I mean, really, come on now. Luigi's #1, gosh dang it! Yeah, too true, my friend, too true. Also, you can choose to replay any mission that you previously completed, whether to get some additional treasures, do a little bit of additional searching around. You thought it was Mario? Yeah, we all wish. Luigi's the true hero, and he's the real #1. The real player one. Just saying. Excuse me. You can also choose to replay missions to improve your rank if you so desire. So, keep that in mind. Anywho, next mission, visual tricks. Criminy! Someone's been casting illusions in the gloomy manor. We'll need my dark light device to see through this, hooey. I'm pretty sure I left it in the lab. Which lab? This lab or the lab in the manor? I tell you, Luigi, some things in this world are just too strange to be real. Too true, my friend, too true. Some are real, of course, but some are illusions. Woo! Here, I got something to show you. Ooh, what's that? Looks like some sort of spirit particle. This is a spirit ball, a paranormal specimen with the ability to cause illusions. And someone is releasing a whole mess of them inside the gloomy manor.
Okie dokie. Oh.
How the hell did that thing shrink back down? Video game logic! Anyway, that's why some of the objects in there, even whole suits of armor, have suddenly vanished. But trust me, they're still there. Luckily, I created a special Poltergust 5000 attachment a while back that will help us. You were about to say that, huh? Neat. I call it the Dark Light device. It's a nifty little doodad able to break illusions such as objects that have been turned invisible. But with all the ghosts gone hostile, I haven't been able to return to my lab to retrieve it. Although that really begs the question, why is there no lab here in the bunker? Maybe there's just no room for one. Maybe that's why. But hey, that's just my guess. But now that you're here, you can get in there and grab it. True that. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. You'll find the Dark Light device attached to its charging station. It should be fully charged by now. Okay, I'm sending you in. Prepare to be pixelated. There is one other thing worth mentioning too, and that is when it comes to the cutscenes of the game, You can easily skip each and every single cutscene, even if you have not seen it before, by pushing the plus button twice during the initial cutscene. So for example, we can skip this cutscene right here, and just jump straight into the action. And no, we don't need to worry about sliding into the action in Call of Duty Ghosts, or in Call of Duty Black Ops 6, or Call of Duty Warzone. Just saying. Leave the butt sliding there, nowhere else it needs to be. Come on, open the door, please. Thank you. Alright. Whoa, what the heck? Whoa! It's a boo! And no, I'm not talking about the monkey. I'm talking about the common frickin' Mario enemy that is a big nuisance in the Luigi's Mansion games. And that is a boo. Like the ghost. Boo. Luigi, am I seeing this right? Did the lab door just disappear? It must have been haunted by spirit balls from inside the room. I'm sure there's another way into that room. It's possible. There most certainly does seem to be another way in, as far as I can tell. Maybe we need to drop in from above. I can't remember for sure if that's exactly what we need to do. But having a look inside here, it doesn't look like there's any sort of holes that we need to worry about here, or how we can get in. Although, that little blackboard there might be a sign of what we need to do. Maybe. Perhaps. Who knows? But even so, we'll figure it out in due time. Trust me, we most certainly will. And I think we're gonna play a little game here. Great. I love these guys so much. And any boo-boo. Here we go again. Oh, hi, how you doing? See what I mean about being able to suck up the ghost despite getting hit and everything? Oh my god. God, I hate these guys so much. So annoying. Well, at least I got one. Alright, now for the other. Hi there. Get in the vacuum, please. That would be great. Boop. By the way, if you happen to quote-unquote overkill a ghost with your vacuum, you'll get some additional treasures and I think some additional gold bars too, if I recall correctly. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, where to go from here? That is the million-dollar question. If you happen to feel like that you're lost at any time, just push the minus button to pull up the map and take a look around on it. You can zoom in with the right analog stick by pushing up or down, and pushing up and down on the D-pad will allow you to change floors. So if you're trying to look for something in particular, the map might be a good idea to take a look at once in a while. And also you can take a look at the list of all your primary objectives during the mission, just by pushing the Y button. So, if you're ever lost or you don't know what to do, read up on it. You may find something useful. You never know. Just saying. Also, speaking of saying something, I think I know what we need to do over here. I remember there being a fireplace linked up in that laboratory, and there's also one right here. And speak of the devil, they shall appear. Really, dude? Always have to cause trouble, don't ya, you stupid little boo? My boo. Talk about a rough landing. Well, at least we finally made it into the lab, and, well, you know, here's the device, all ready to go. Hi! Jeez, talk about pain. Get back here, you little bugger! Jeez. So, as you may have noticed, this little guy right here is wearing sunglasses. What can I say? He loves wearing sunglasses at night. As a result of that, you won't be able to suck him up or splash him with the flashlight right away. So what you have to do is suck up the sunglasses first before you can even attempt to flash the flashlight at him. Oh my god, how did I miss? Sometimes the little perspectives and angles and things like that can be quite a tricky thing to deal with. Trust me. It's quite annoying, to say the least. Don't drop it, otherwise it might crack, and that's going to create all kinds of problems. And here we are. Here's the dark light device. Sweet.
Oh. Yellow.
Luigi, who is releasing those spirit balls is... whoever's releasing the spirit balls is somehow able to avoid the, periscope. Wait, is that? You found the dark light device. Good work, my boy. Try it out with the Y button. I'm sure there's an illusion somewhere in that room. And I'm here to tell you, do not use the Y button because that makes things that much more awkward and complex. Use the L button instead. That makes things so much better. Trust me. So as you've seen, those shadow or those spirit balls, whenever you shine your dark light on one of those illuminary objects like that, it will reveal those spirit balls. If you don't suck them up within the time limit, which is actually pretty generous, I'm going to say roughly 10 seconds or so, might be around 15. Regardless, if you don't suck them up quick enough, then unfortunately what will happen is they'll just go back into the object, and you'll just have to suck them all up all over again. Which can get kind of annoying to deal with, especially if you're dealing with some annoying things. And you may have noticed some special spiritual energy shining on the wall from the dark light. We'll get into that in just a moment. For now, Egad is going, "Excellent, Luigi. I won't have to ask you to leave now because you're already shown yourself the door." Now then, have you been hearing that creepy laughter? Whatever is releasing those spirit balls seem to be enjoying themselves. Thankfully, not too much, but still, just saying. I'm not having any luck with the periscope, so it's up to you to find him and put a stop to him. How dare you assume their gender? They could be female for all we know. Or they may identify themselves as an attack helicopter. Who cares? Well, either way, nothing really... We don't need to worry much about anything else around here, so... You know, I was thinking about going back through some earlier rooms to see if I can shine the dark light on certain objects, but I may wait a little bit, as it may be a good idea to... No, it will be a good idea to wait, because... Believe it or not, there are some earlier missions that I will have to go back to in order to fully complete the game. And you'll soon see what I mean. As you have undoubtedly figured out, we do have to deal with boos and things like that. Right now, we can't do much of anything about them. However, despite that, we'll figure out how to deal with them soon enough. Hello. I wonder what that could be. Well, that seems to tell us that, yeah, there's a trap being set inside of the kitchen. So that's something we're going to have to deal with, too. But not right now, though. Not right now. Gonna wait a little bit before we even step foot into the kitchen. Oh, you stupid bat! I hate those things! God damn it! It also doesn't help that they blend in with the darkness, too. So, that just makes things that much more annoying and complicated, you know? I hate that so freaking much. There is one other thing worth mentioning as well, and that is when it comes to the coins and treasures and things like that, be quick when it comes to picking them up. They'll only stick around for a short period of time. Otherwise, they vanish without a trace. one more thing worth mentioning when it comes to these spirit balls and just finding these hidden objects. And that is, believe it or not, these are pretty well hidden and are very, very difficult to see. Oh my god. How did I miss that last spider? I will never know. Well, who cares? In you go. Oh. There we go. Another gem is ours. You know, now that I'm really thinking about it, I probably should head back upstairs. Just to see if I can get that one gem now. Which, yes, I most certainly can. But before I go, I'm going to take care of what we got over here. And as you can see, believe it or not, those birds are standing on air. Flash! Ah! Seriously, flashbang those birds. Send them to the afterlife. Trust me, it's well worth it. It works for Leon S. Kennedy in Resident Evil 4, why can it not work for Luigi? Seriously, it's a big get-rich-quick scheme. It's well worth your time, and also well worth the cost of a good old flash grenade. Or in this case, in this game, a flashlight, or just a big old flashbang. Just like that. Just saying. Well, now that we have the key, we can now access the kitchen from down here. However, we're not going to go there just yet. I want to get that one gem that is around here. And if I recall correctly, I think there is an invisible object in here. There is one other thing worth mentioning too, and that is you cannot hold the dark light forever. If you happen to hold it for too long, then Luigi becomes stunned for a couple of seconds. And if you're searching around frantically for something that's invisible, and you happen to overheat the dark light, then unfortunately you're going to be in a bit of trouble. Especially if multiple ghosts are swarming you all at once. And let me tell you, that's not exactly a fun time for anyone. Speaking of dark light, now we can shine the dark light on all these paintings that we've been seeing throughout the course of the mansion. So, if we happen to see one of those, flash your dark light on them and you'll get some additional treasures. Although, it only applies for like the first time that you're scanning those things or just shining your dark light on them. Because if you happen to replay the mission and try to shine the dark light on those paintings again, you won't get as many treasures or coins. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I don't remember if there's anything I can do around here where... Oh, hello. What do we have? Another knight that just suddenly vanished without a trace. Oh. Okay, more treasures. Definitely like that, especially considering I kind of need it if I want to get some upgrades. There is one thing that you can do when it comes to... Wait, what the hell? Am I able to do something about this painting right here? I guess I can't do anything about it yet. I know at one point I'm supposed to be able to... Let's try this. Okay, that ain't working. Dang it. And here I thought I can get... And here I thought I could knock one of the helmets down and then shoot it. And shoot it into the one painting of the knight. But no, apparently that is not happening, Chief. Unfortunate. But it is what it is. Oh my god. Hit the spider! Thank you! Ugh. You know, one thing I kind of wonder is, does flashing a bright light, does that work in real life too? Does it make him explode into a million pieces? If that's the case, that's awesome. That's one way of getting rid of frickin' bugs and ants and spiders and things like that. Though I doubt that's actually the case. Even so. There we go. That takes care of the grandfather clock. Got that back up in working order. I don't think we can't do much here. It's like there's no other reward besides the one gem that we collected earlier. But speaking of gems, we are picking up... We're going to go ahead and pick up this other gem that's in here in the next room. And the reason why? Well, completionist, duh. And you may have noticed that we have a little something else around here. I really wish there was some way I can light that frickin' spiderweb on fire, but unfortunately, can't quite do that yet. We won't be able to do it for quite a while. One more thing worth mentioning here is pay close attention to your map, because if you don't see a door on it and you do see a door like outside of the map, then that is a fake door. And if you happen to fall for a fake door trap, then let me tell you something, you're gonna get smacked. And it's gonna be awkward, really painful, and just a really bad time. Just saying. Boop. Another gem is ours. And as you can see, we are still missing quite a number of gems yet. Interesting. Alright, down we go.
Hello.
Okay. You may be wondering, why didn't we just go through to the kitchen from the top floor? And the reason as to why is because, believe it or not, as of this mission, that area is blocked off. And it's blocked off by the frickin' spider webs, which we cannot suck up, which is really, really dumb. But it is what it is. Wow, the ghosts in here really are having quite the party. I wonder if they're getting ready to cook a feast. Let's just hope that we're not the feast. We'll find out. In we go. Also, the key opening cutscenes can indeed be skipped. Oh, hi. Well, I didn't expect that. But it works. Oh dear. You may have... Oh, come on, really, dude? Dick! Dang it, man. Stupid ghost. You really had to make me look bad? Really? Man, that stinks. Oh well, it is what it is. No big deal, though. No big deal at all. Okay, maybe I was wrong. No, I'm not. I was right from the start. As you can see, that spider web that's there, that kind of blocks the upper floor for the library, so can't quite go up that way. Instead, we have to go through the kitchen. We don't have a choice. As stupid as it is, it's true. Okay. What do we have in here? Oh, looks like it's our ghosty friend. Ah, so you're the one responsible with the spirit particle thingies. Although I kind of knew that already from the start, but you know. Also, speaking of spirit particle things, or spirit balls for that matter, yeah, they can hurt you. And I think they deal 5 HP worth of damage for each hit that you take from them. So keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to hunting down boos, boos are quite a tricky little critter to deal with. How exactly? Well, oh dear. Ow. So anyway, as I was saying, in order for you to deal with boos, you have to reveal them with the dark light. Afterwards, you will stun them temporarily, and then what you'd have to do after that is actually pretty simple. Grab him by the tongue. Okay, how the hell did you get up there? Irrelevant. I win. Anyway, just grab him by the tongue, give him a good fling across the room, and bada bing, bada boom. Now you're playing Luigi Pinball Land! Anyway, you okay, Luigi? Criminy! What in tarnation was a Boo doing here in the valley? Good thing you had the dark light device with you, or you have been in real trouble. Let's get you out of there. Hold on tight. Sure thing. Sounds good.
Oh, yes.
Off we go.
I did it.
There we go. Mission complete. 2-star, of course. My guess as to why I got a 2-star could be the health, and it could also be the amount of time I took to complete the mission, too. Again, no big deal. Not hunting 3 stars in this playthrough. Like I mentioned previously, I've already done it during my first playthrough of the game. Yeah. Alright. Maybe we'll have some more information when it comes to these boos from our friend Egad here. He probably has something he needs to say about them. Excellent! I'm positively tickled that my dark light device worked! I'm thoroughly tickled. Oh god, I remember that old meme. And there we go, that's our first boo added to the collection. Wow, almost up to our next upgrade. Sweet. And after completing that mission and getting our first boo, we unlocked the ScareScraper, which, again, like I said, can't really do it not without a Nintendo Switch Online subscription. This hair-raising high-rise full of ghostly challenge awaits you and your fellow ghost hunters. Access it from the bunker. But again, you need NSO in order to play it. At least do it online. It's concerning to find a boo in the gloomy manor. Boos always spell trouble, especially if they gang up. If you see any more, be sure to capture them right away. I have a special counter just for boos down in the vault. Or container, my god. Funny story, actually. You may remember that I used to have a device called a portificate. Huh? Hold on a sec. The periscope is acting up! Something isn't right, Luigi. The signals coming from the gloomy manor are... Give me a minute. I need to figure this out. Which we will figure out in due time. Well, now that we have unlocked the ability to hunt down boos in missions, I'm gonna go back through and start hunting down all the boos in all the earlier missions. And funny enough, now that we have all of our equipment, now, most of our equipment, and what we need in order to progress throughout most of the game, now we can actually start going for completion when it comes to these stages. So, one thing worth mentioning is that if you happen to get a lower ranking during any of these missions that you previously completed, your highest rank is still saved, so you don't need to worry about losing the 3-star rank if you've already achieved it once before. But I'm just saying. Now then, time to go ghost hunting, go boo hunting, you know? And of course, you can skip the cutscenes and just jump straight into the action. Albeit after a loading screen, but still, just saying. And speaking of missions and jumping right in right away, believe it or not, you can, upon getting the Poltergust 5000 and finishing the mission, you'll be able to start the mission right with it. Same also holds true with whatever upgrades you happen to have in your possession. And any conversations that you had with Professor Egad involving tutorial-like things like, hey, push this button to go this way, or push this button to do this and that. Well, those tutorial prompts will not appear again. Not for the duration of the playthrough. The graphics aren't bad in the HD version. I agree. I agree with you 100%. They're not bad at all. And I definitely like the little HD upgrade. I wish they'd done a little bit more with it, especially in the environments. But I guess that could also be a bit of a stylistic choice too, where the overall theme is a bit more on the cartoony side, which has been seen in the 3DS version. So I guess they wanted to keep the spirit of the 3DS version of the game alive in that sense, which is perfectly fair, you know? I mean, I don't see why wouldn't want to do something like that. So, one other thing worth mentioning here, and that is, if you want to prevent the dark light from overheating, one thing you definitely need to do is release the button well before it overheats. While doing so, it will start recharging and going back to normal. One other thing worth mentioning too is that, as you clearly see here, the UI has changed for certain elements, such as the dark light. If I remember reading on the Super Mario Wiki that one of the changes of which this version has over the 3DS original is that the... Oh my god, stupid Bill, why can't I suck it up through the fence? Makes no sense. Dang it. I wish I could skip this cutscene, but unfortunately I can't do that. It's dumb. It's dumb that certain cutscenes like this cannot be skipped. There are some optional cutscenes that you can just walk right past if you so wish. So that's something else to keep in mind too.
Hello?
Ah, here we go. We got the mouse again. And thankfully, now that we have the ability to charge our frickin' flashlight, we can flash it into submission. Just like that. Boop. Nice. Give me the coin because, you know, the one coin does make a difference. It does make a very, very big difference, unlike a certain Kirby who thinks otherwise. I thought something was invisible in here, but perhaps not. Perhaps I'm going a bit crazy. Ooh, nice. More treasure. Definitely like that. Also, after you get the dark light, you may notice some things start becoming invisible, which means there are boos around, even in earlier missions that you previously played. So keep that in mind. Hang on a sec. I just noticed something over here. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Dang it, I thought it was something I could shine upon. But no, not quite. And you know, it's kind of funny that we have the Poltergust 5000 and yet we're asked to go search for it. So really, it's not so much a duplicate or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. It's just there for story reasons. In fact, as far as I know, you don't even need to open up the trunk here. You don't need to open it up at all. You can just simply ignore it and then just grab the key and go.
Hello?
It's just there, just for the sake of story reasons. And that's really all there is to it. Not much of a reason to open up the car hood again, just to see if you can get another Poltergust 5000. I can't remember where each and every single boo is in this game, but this one I think is one. Aha! There it is! Boo-ha-ha-ha! I'm Boogie Woogie! Hang ten green-hatted dude. Yeah, no thanks. Oh, God damn it! Stupid black light. Ah, stupid boo. That's one thing I do find annoying about shining the dark light on these frickin' boos, and that is, starting at a level 1 dark light, that's probably the hardest part when it comes to hunting down boos. You could always wait to hunt down the boos until you get it up to level 2, because as you can see, keeping them revealed for just long enough to be able to get everything or get what you need to out of these stupid boos is a task in itself because it tends to overheat more often than not. Ugh, talk about a pain in the ass.
Oh. Hello?
Fantastic! I'm glad you found and captured that hooligan. They're very elusive, only coming out when their hiding spot has been found. They may all look the same, but each has its own personality. Try to capture them all. Otherwise, they might regroup and their power grows when they gather in large numbers. Which is true. And I believe they act as gatekeepers as well. So even if you progress far enough into the game, if you don't capture enough boos, then yeah, they're gonna force you backwards or something like that. Just like in the original Luigi's Mansion. You heard that in early development, Luigi's Mansion was originally going to be Mario. Yeah, I've heard of that too. Pretty neat little tidbit. Nice little fact. One more thing worth mentioning too, and that is, upon completing the mission and capturing the boo, then that boo will not reappear again, with limited exceptions. And those exceptions are if the boo is the primary objective. So even if it is the primary objective, just keep in mind they will not, they won't count towards your totals. So what I mean is, the one boo that we captured back in Mission 4, it will count only as the, you know, the first boo that we captured at one time, and after that, bada bing, after that, they won't count towards the totals anymore. And, okay, I'll become an Englishman. Why not? Now then, why don't we continue for at least the next 5 minutes? I don't know if there's anything else I need to worry about around here, or not. Oh my god. I keep pushing the wrong gosh dilly dang buttons. Stupid mouse. Why does it have to be such a jerk? I mean, really, come on now. As you probably have already noticed, you can carry more than one key in this game. And honestly, carrying multiple keys is a very, very beneficial thing. And the reason as to why is pretty dang obvious, which is you can unlock multiple doors at once. Well, okay, maybe not at once, but you know. Obviously, what I mean is, you see one door, you unlock it, you can unlock another door later down the line. I just noticed that I got an email about Google Ads. I don't know what that's all about. I'll have to check it out later. But for right now, we'll just have to continue playing the game. And also, you probably have noticed, but we don't even need to worry about collecting that one flashlight thing anymore. We could just simply skip it and continue on with the rest of the mission like normal, if we so desire, which is exactly what I'm going to do. But, hey, it's there if you still want to do it. Is it recommended? No, especially if you're going for the 3 stars. If you want to do a 3-star thing, sequence breaking is highly recommended. I don't know if there's any way to break out of bounds or anything like that. If there is, great. If not, then, well, oh well, it is what it is. I've not seen a single speedrun of this game, to be fair, so if there is an out-of-bounds exploit that I'm completely unaware of, please feel free to share. It's quite fun, if you really think about it. There we go. I know it seems kind of weird that we're just hunting treasures, despite the fact that we clearly done just that during our first encounter here. But trust me, there is a reason for this. And that is, of course, getting more upgrades. More upgrades for Poltergust 5000. You never know. You never know what might happen. We might be able to get these things that much sooner, you know? Just saying. He looked inside the toilet. Too true, my friend, too true. He most certainly did. I mean, I guess he was curious if there were any ghosts inside of there, which, yeah, ghosts can hide practically anywhere. Heyo, hello Dragon, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could make it. As you can see, we're playing through Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Right now, I'm currently doing a bit of boo hunting in some early missions. We've already found the one for this one, and we're getting ready to finish up this one and wrap it up with a pretty pink bow. And we'll bounce right out of the door. Not literally, of course. I'm talking more figuratively, if anything. You had this on the 3DS. You really liked this game. Do I feel silly talking to like an Englishman? Yes, actually. I do. But hey, that's all part of the fun. My Englishman voice, aka my British hybrid-like voice like this, not exactly the best thing in the world. If I was a native Englishman, it would definitely be a hell of a lot better than this. That's for sure. Still, it's quite fun to do it once in a while. Especially if viewers really want me to do it.
Oh, yes.
Again, just makes the streams that much more interactive. And I think that's enough of that for right now. Let's continue.
Hey, hey.
Nice!
Did it.
New record.
Yeah.
Sweet. Also, hello, Hollow Dragon. Welcome to the stream. Glad you can make it. Apologies for not saying your name earlier. I was kind of in the middle of something, as you've undoubtedly seen. Okay, let's go ahead and add everything into the whole vault thing here. New boo collected, add in more treasures, grab our next upgrade. Which is... bada bing! Dark Light Level 2! aka the very thing we need, at minimum, in order to start hunting boos effectively. Thanks to this upgrade, the Dark Light device won't overheat as quickly. Pretty cool, huh? Agreed. I definitely agree with you there, that's for sure. Well, now that that's all taken care of and mission complete, now we can move on to A-2. Go ahead and get the boo for this mission. And hell, this may be a good redemption arc to try and get 3 stars for this mission as well. Again, can't lose as much health this time. Hell, I might be able to do it even faster. Almost reaching the 3-hour mark. Too true, my friend, too true. Now, I believe the boo is right here, from what I'm able to recall. Aha! Here it is! I'm Baboon! Let's go Boonanas! It's Boonanas. B-O-O-A-N-A-S. Okay, I'll stop. God, that's annoying. Obviously, the higher the suck level, the more chances you'll have of being able to ricochet the boo and have it bounce around like a frickin' pinball. Just keep in mind that if you don't one-cycle it, you will have to reveal it yet again. And once its health reaches 0, then bada bing, bada boom. Dude, Spider, please, just stop. Phew, okay. That was a little annoying, but hey, the deed is done at least. Alright, let's get moving. Hang on a sec. I just noticed there's something missing around here. Okay, maybe it's just my imagination. I'm thinking of a future mission where that happens. Okay, I believe this is the mission where we have to hunt down the 4 gear marks. Did I hear before the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, Nintendo was changing its, was charging it pretty high? Yes, I heard about it too. I watched Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and the way they hid the price tag was probably one of the scummiest things I've ever seen. Not the scummiest thing I've ever seen, though. No, that title goes to frickin' Activision. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, they're probably the scummiest company on the face of the earth. They're like a scummiest frickin' EA. EA Games. Peace off, everyone. Get over here. Okay, there we go. Got the key. Let's move on. I know I've hardly collected any treasures during this run, but they'll be made up in due time, my friends. That's for sure. Looks like we're going to be playing one of my favorite games. Find the ghosty poo hiding in the frickin' furniture. And watch out for the banana peels. Don't want to slip up now. Eh, jeez. There we go. Nice.
I do it.
That was easy. You love bananas. So do I, Supercolix. So do I. I love them as well. They're quite delicious. And, in fact, they're actually my favorite fruit. As far as other fruits in general, I don't eat them nearly as much as bananas. Because they're just not as good to me. Neat. I'm glad to know that you also think that bananas are your favorite. I think a lot of people feel that way, actually. Stupid bats. Always have to ruin everything. Oh, pfft. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Can't open that door. I'm a doofus. So whenever you're replaying missions and you're still working on trying to acquire upgrades and things like that, it's always a good idea to comb through these rooms again, despite the fact that we've already done so. Just so that way you can get additional treasures. Not only that, but it'll get you that much closer to finishing the mission that much more quickly, you know?
Hey.
Heck, there are even some areas of which we'll be able to explore within the early parts of this particular mansion. Sadly, this doesn't apply to any of the other mansions in the game. It's really dumb how they kind of chickened out on one idea. And then we're like, yeah, it's cool for one mansion, but let's not do it again for the next one. It's dumb. Also, how is it that you're able to see certain invisible objects like this? How are you able to see that because of the frickin' darkness? It's one of the many questions, and it's one of nature's mysteries. Tune in to find the answers. And no, it will not cost you $35 just to reveal the answers. Dude, come on, reveal the thing. Thank you. By the way, I'm pretty sure you have to suck that propeller in order to get the key to spawn. It's kind of funny how the key that normally spawns during a future mission can also spawn during this early mission too. So that's pretty neat. Again, it's optional to explore these rooms in particular, but trust me, it's well worth your time. In fact... Okay, never mind. Here I thought I'd be able to sequence break and complete a future mission during this mission, but no. Not quite how it works, unfortunately. Oh well. It's fine. It's cool. By the way, once you reveal the boo for the mission, you don't really need to worry too much about scanning every little thing in these rooms. Not unless you're gem hunting, in which case, scan away. Just try not to hold your dark light for too long, otherwise, ouch. Trust me, it ain't a fun time, especially when you're trying to hunt down a frickin' boo! Let me tell you, it's probably one of the most annoying things that you have to deal with in this game. Also, if you try to open up that vault right there, the gem that normally spawns there will not spawn during this particular mission. Why? Because you're technically not supposed to be here yet. I mean, you kind of are, but you aren't. It's difficult to explain. But, hey, I'm just saying. Ooh, okay. Nice. Didn't expect that. But hey, it worked out. As far as I know, I don't think there's anything else out here I can really mess around with right now. Which is fine. It's totally fine with me. Anything in the library? I don't think so. Although, I noticed this little wrinkle in the carpet. Or in the rug. I guess it's just decoration. Ooh, fire! Pretty! Unfortunately, we can't do much of anything with it right now. We kind of need an object in order to be able to set things ablaze. Although, speaking of setting things ablaze, you think that's really a good idea? Who's to say we may not accidentally burn the place down while we're trying to get rid of these frickin' spider webs? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, if you ask me. But hey, that's just me and my silly little opinion, am I right? One more thing too, and that is... there is a gem that we grabbed during that one mission when we encountered our first boo. And that gem, it cannot be grabbed earlier on than that particular mission. Because if you try to go through to this room right here, yeah, brick wall, can't do it. Can't go through yet. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't recall there being anything else I need to worry about in here. No. As you've undoubtedly noticed as well, if you happen to push the X button, you can make Luigi look up. And it may look amusing that he's just bobbing his head up and down like a metalhead. You know what I mean? Can't even tell how far you've gotten in the game so far. That's fair. That's totally fair because, like I've mentioned, we are going through an earlier mission to do a bit of boo hunting. Because I do plan on getting every single boo in the game. And you can only start boo hunting after completing Mission 4. Thankfully, it's not too far into the game, but still, I'm just saying. Takes a little bit of time. Takes a little bit of time before you can actually start boo hunting at all. Okay, there they are. I was wondering where the spiders were. That took a little longer than it should have, but hey, it is what it is. No biggie. One more thing worth mentioning when it comes to the gems and things like that. Some gems can only be collected during certain missions. I might have mentioned that already, but you may have noticed some gems are out in the open. However, they can only be collected after certain events have occurred. So, in other words, if you collect this gem during this mission, great. But if you happen to wait a little bit before even attempting to grab the gem, then you have to worry about the whole dark light thing first before you can get another opportunity to get the gem. There we go. Dude, get the thing. Thank you. I feel like I have snot gathering in the back of my throat that's about to shoot or turn into a frickin' bubble. I hate that. Oh, hi there. I mean, I knew... Wait! Don't think so. One thing I've definitely noticed is that when you're jumping into the frickin' air like you're a Call of Duty player playing Warzone, well, one thing I noticed, so long as you're in the air, you're invincible. However, upon touching the ground, you're no longer invincible. Yeah, I agree that the snot thing I mentioned earlier, that is nasty. I hate that. What's worse is that sometimes when I'm talking, snot still gathers in the back of my throat, and it makes me sound like I'm underwater. Really annoying. It really, really is. Anything in here of note? You know, one thing I find kind of funny, do I have bad allergies? Some days it's better than others, but for the most part, no. It's really not that bad. I used to have far worse allergies long ago, like a few years back, actually. But I have had nasal surgery that opened up my nostrils a little bit, so my allergies are nowhere near as bad as they were before. And the whole reason why I even had nasal surgery in the first place was not because of a broken nose or anything like that, no. The reason why was because, according to the doctor and the surgeon who did the operation, they mentioned that the humans are not supposed to notice whenever they're not supposed to notice when one nostril is open and the other is closed. I had that awareness almost all the time. So, as a result of that, it was pretty evident that I needed the surgery. I mean, it was sort of an optional thing, but I wanted to get it just to be able to breathe out of my nose better. So, there you go. So as a result of being able to breathe out of my nose better, my allergies haven't been as bad as they previously were. A lot of days I used to have stuffy, runny noses fairly often. However, it's nowhere near as frequent as it was previously. Frickin' bats! Go away, bats! Don't be a man. Give me the thing, please. Thank you. Jeez, talk about annoying. There is something else worth mentioning too when it comes to the gems, and if you happen to spawn any of them. When it comes to them in particular, they do not disappear. So you can take your sweet time and collect the gems whenever you want, so long as you're able to. So if it spawns, you're free to grab them whenever. You don't need to worry about them vanishing without a trace. So, there you go. Alright, just gotta deal with this stupid, ghostly business. Yeah, don't think so, buddy. Get over here. We're gonna have some fun. Ah, stupid ghost! I hate that crap. Just as I was about to capture him, too. They always have to respawn with, like, 1 HP. What can I say? It's their version of Last Stand. F you, Last Stand! Anyone remember that meme? It's funny how Call of Duty essentially brought that back in a different form now. Anyone remember Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022? aka one of the worst Call of Duties of all time? Yeah, I remember it too. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I'm just saying. It was not a good year for Call of Duty fans, to say the least. And this is probably the worst year yet with Black Ops 6, and we're heading into Black Ops 7 in this year. And to be fair, not really looking too forward to that game either. You played them before, never really were your thing. Fair enough. Not everyone is into those kinds of games. I don't play Call of Duty all the time, especially not as much as I used to. But the whole reason why I even stopped playing those games in the first place is just I don't enjoy them nearly as much as I used to. It's just gotten so much worse. The freaking cosmetics are out of control, like holy crap. What the hell is even an art style anymore to the COD franchise? I mean, they recently added freaking Beavis and Butthead into Call of Duty. I am not kidding. So not only do you have them, you have frickin'
Ciao.
furry people. Not that I have a problem with furries, but you know, frickin' people in animal costumes and things like that. You also got those bubbly wubbly thingies from Modern Warfare 2 2022, or was it Modern Warfare 3? Either way, we have those. We also have creepy faces, creepy emotion-like faces, or emoticons as a frickin' costume. Again, back in MW3 2023. Jesus. I mean, seriously, those frickin' cosmetics are really getting out of hand. And it's only gonna get worse from here. I would not be surprised if something like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet get added into Call of Duty in the future. Although, knowing Nintendo and how protective they are of their IPs, the odds of that happening are about as good as Samus being added into Fortnite. In other words, never. But if it did get added into Call of Duty, then there would be no doubt in my mind that, you know, they would charge like 5,000 COD points for the entire set, and 10,000 in total if you want both the Scarlet and Violet Tracer packs. You know what I mean? This is Activision we're talking about here. They will squeeze every freaking dollar out of you, and squeeze you until the buffalo poops. So you would be okay if I were to stream Call of Duty? I mean, I probably will at some point. I'll probably stream the campaign. Multiplayer, on the other hand, probably not, but who knows? Maybe I'll do some Warzone here and there. I mean, I've actually talked about doing that at some point as like a filler stream, but it's nothing really that's on my priority list. It's more of a desperado sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like, I'll only do it as like a means to an end, if I absolutely have to. Which, to be fair, I probably should have done that well before I was kicked out of the YouTube Partner Program last year. Not to mention on Call of Duty, we also get the Homelander from the adult, The Boys. Yeah, true. I mean, if Fortnite has King of the Hill, Family Guy, and you want to know something else? Speaking of adult animation, it was recently found within the game's internal data and code that American Dad is going to be coming to frickin' Call of Duty in a future bundle. And they're going to be coming really, really soon. How soon? Probably within the next few weeks. That's my guess. Oh, Lord. And if anyone has seen the leaks for the American Dad bundles, if Beavis and Butthead were already a stylistic clash, American Dad cranks that up to 11. I'm just saying. Sure, Stan Smith and Roger Smith would, I mean, they look good and all that jazz, but they just don't fit in Call of Duty. They're better suited to Fortnite than they are in that game. You know? Just really grinds my gears that Call of Duty has lost so much of its identity over the years just because they're chasing the almighty dollar. It just just irks me so. Just seeing such a proud, fun franchise just go down the frickin' toilet, you know? It's really, really bad, to say the least. You would actually love to try to watch an episode of Beavis and Butthead, however, you're afraid that you're going to get on your nerves. Well, it was a show that came out during the 90s, and it was definitely a show of its time. For sure. In fact, I think when it first aired during the 90s on MTV, it aired during prime time, and I think as a result of that, kids ended up watching the show and started mimicking some of the actions of Beavis and Butthead. And sadly, that led to the death of someone, unfortunately. Wait, why am I laughing? That's not funny. I'm just saying. It's something that happened. It was a very tragic event. how did that happen? I think they mimicked a point where Beavis played with fire or something, and the kid ended up playing with fire around their kid's sister. She ended up burning to death, and their whole house burned down. I don't know. The kid lived, the boy lived, but the little girl sadly did not. Her injuries, I think, were too severe. And that's how she passed away or something. Yeah, it was quite the controversy. Definitely look up some other controversies at the time. And I think as a result of that, Beavis and Butthead from future episodes going forward, they had to add a disclaimer saying, hey, these are fictional characters. They are not real, and therefore, don't try any of the stuff you see in this show at home. Or something like that. And that was where the phrase, don't try this at home, came from. It came from Beavis and Butthead, after the whole controversy happened. The 90s were a much different time compared to today's day and age, that is for sure. Just saying. Well, anyway, why don't we get back to more positive things now, shall we? Let's stop talking about death and misery and setting people on fire. I know fire can be fun, but you have to have fun with it responsibly and in a safe, controlled environment. Don't just play with it for funsies at random for no reason. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt, or you may end up hurting someone else. Beavis and Butthead is created by Mike Judge, who also made King of the Hill. Huh, I didn't know that. That's actually pretty neat. Neat little tidbit. Well, regardless, speaking of King of the Hill, I know that's also in Fortnite, and you know that there's going to be a revival series going on, and the new season's going to start airing on Hulu as of August 4th. Looking forward to the new season, as I did recently get caught up with the main series itself, not that long ago. It really is a shame that John Redcorn's voice actor happened to, you know, well, unfortunately he died because people really hate what he was doing with his partner, you know? He also voices a character in the show that sounds like Hank Hill. I didn't know that. Hey there, Sonny. Okay, we've already went through this. Already noticed that we're collecting lots of treasures, we're doing things. We're going burr. Oh, hi there, Spider. How you doing? You know, I have seen King of the Hill, but I have not seen Beavis and Butthead. And I'm not exactly sure which streaming service has Beavis and Butthead. If I have to make a guess, it's probably HBO Max? I could be wrong, but still, I'm not going to be subscribing to another frickin' service just to watch an old show like that. Not worth it. Not to me, anyway. Oh, hi there, Mr. Speedy McSpeederson. Time for you to see the Lord Almighty above.
Oh yeah.
One more thing worth mentioning when it comes to those speedy ghosts there, be careful of where you release them, or not release, but suck them up, because upon finishing that particular function, whatever money comes out, yeah, it's possible that they can be thrown out of bounds, losing a lot of gold. And that's not exactly fun for anyone, trust me. It really, really isn't. Now then, can't remember if I scanned anything here in the bathroom. There we are. Now then, let's keep on moving along. Oh, right, I forgot. I can't quite move on just yet. Gotta interact with this thing, raise the thingy, and get ready to go to the library. And all that jazz. Which, funny enough, we can easily just skip the upper floor altogether if we really, really want to. Oh my god. Mouse, get over here, jerk. Wow, that was a lucky triple. Cool. Dang it. Frickin' safe having nothing in it. Well, that's annoying. Anywho, any of you guys looking forward to the King of the Hill revival? I am. I'm looking forward to the show, that's for sure. And here I thought the spiders would spawn, but no. Guess not. Guess not, Gaston. Whatevs, whatevs. It ain't a big deal. One other thing I will mention too is that when it comes to hunting down boos and hunting down invisible objects and things like that you need to reveal with your dark light, you can phase through the invisible objects, but unfortunately not all the original voice actors will be a part of it. That's true. Sadly, I know that Dale's voice actor won't be there because, well, he's no longer with us. And due to John Redcorn's voice actor's passing, well, he's not going to be reprising his role either. Although I do hear that he will be within the first 4 episodes of which he's featured in. But after that, he will be recasted. For, well, obvious reasons. Wait, again, that's not funny. Why do I laugh? Why do I chuckle? I need to be like Knuckles, because unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. Who knows? I got an idea. Can I light this ablaze? No, I can't. Although I gotta admit, that was a pretty clever idea. Is the door glitching, or is it just me? I noticed a strange cube just under the bed. However, they could always use AI to bring back the voices. Yes, that's true. They could do that, but I would prefer if they didn't. And the reason why is because just let the dead live in peace. I mean, come on now. Have some ethics here. I'm just not a fan of AI voices in general. Sometimes they can be funny, yes. I will admit that. But still, I'm just saying, when you're using AI voices to mimic the voice of the dead or someone who is deceased, I just don't like it. It just feels wrong to me. I might be in the minority in that opinion, but even so, I'm just saying, that's just me. Me and my silly opinion. Now that I really think about it, I probably should have pulled up a guide to revealing where each and every single boo is. And yeah, I'll have to do that for the next session. You don't hate AI, you have mixed feelings about it. That's fair. Everyone's opinions on AI is different from person to person. Me, I don't like generative AI. AI as a whole, depending on what it is and how it's used, it can be helpful and ethical, but a lot of times it's not. Oopsie, I made a boo-boo. I love that. Hello, boo-boo. Time to give you a big, big boo-boo. And maybe you and I can watch some boo-boo-boo-boo-boo-boo-boo-boo. And for those who know what I'm referencing, congratulations, you are cultured. And for those of you who don't, well then, you'll have to figure it out for yourselves. Well then, now that we got ourselves a good old, big old boo-boo, aka boo-hoo, boo-boo went boo-hoo. Jeez. Nice. Another key added to the collection. Wait, what the heck? Ooh, what do we have over here? This is actually an optional thing that you can choose to reveal and you'll get some additional treasures. Not much, if any at all. I think it's mission dependent. Sometimes you'll get more treasures on a different mission in comparison to others. Even so, still worth mentioning. So like I said, generative AI, especially when it comes to images and things like that, that's what I have the biggest problem with, because it's stealing jobs. Oh my god, stupid bat. Dude, come the flip on! I hate those stupid things! I mean, I don't hate bats in real life. They're pretty cool, not gonna lie. In fact, I've actually encountered a bat or two before, several years ago. There was one time I encountered a bat when I worked at the Naval Academy back in Maryland. And believe it or not, I actually had to call my boss and ask her what the heck it is I was supposed to do with the bat. Because it was just hanging out in the ceiling in the hallway, which I was sweeping. I'm not kidding. And as far as an earlier encounter with a bat, I think it was hanging out in my backyard back in Maryland as well. Back when I was living there. That was a long time ago. Even so. I've encountered a couple of bats, but really not all that many, all things considered. Would love to encounter another bat again, but hopefully not one that's gonna fly right in my face or try to suck my blood like a vampire. Just saying. You know, one thing I really wish that these gems could do upon recollecting them, even if you collected them before, is add to your treasure total. So, what I mean is maybe give you maybe about 200 additional gold for every gem you collect. You know, that would be really, really nice and generous. Just like the bone upon holding on to it at the end of the mission. But, hey, that's just me and my silly opinion. Too bad that feature couldn't have been added with this port of the game, because it wasn't in the original. And like I mentioned, this is a port, not a remaster. Alright, let's rise you up. Here we go. Alright, let's go ahead and do this thing now, shall we? Okay, where are you guys? Are you gonna reveal yourselves without me jumping and wetting myself? Ah, there you are. Nice. Nice miss. Merry Christmas! Okay, I'm gonna try to get this guy to attack me. There we go. Double suction. Double kill. Beautiful. Beautiful capture. Whew. Well, that was definitely something, that's for sure. Now, as far as my goal is concerned for today's session, what I do plan on doing is trying to finish up this first mansion. That's my goal, that's my plan. We'll have to wait and see how things play out. Sure, we took a bit longer than expected due to story reasons, as well as getting introduced to the whole boo hunting mechanic and things like that. Oh, god damn it! Of course I would get hit right there at the last minute. Last possible moment. One other thing worth mentioning too is that it is indeed possible to capture ghosts, or at least start flashing them before their very eyes, and just start sucking them up before they even finish spawning in. If you know what you're doing and know exactly where they're supposed to go, or where they're spawning at, then you can charge up a flash and bada bing, bada boom, go to town, have fun. Whew, okay, that worked out. Phew. Alright, Data's done.
Yellow.
I'm not gonna say that's a new record, because we did take a while trying to find the stupid boo that's here. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, 2-star ranking this time. Why? Because, yeah, even though we had an improvement as far as our health management is concerned, well, we didn't capture as many ghosts, and we also took nearly twice as long. Hence the reason why our ranking is lower. But, hey, despite the fact that we got a lower rank for this run, that does not overwrite our highest rank, which we've already achieved. So, there you go. Kind of surprised that we are already over the 3-hour mark. Kind of crazy how much progress we've made up to this point. And also, if you happen to have captured a ghost previously, sometimes you might be able to get a bigger mass for them as well, so that's pretty nice. And whenever it is the case, then their total or their their largest mass will be updated within the vault. Alright, there we go. Now we can finally move on to A-5 after hunting down all the boos in all the previous missions. Now then, clean up those darn spiderwebs. They're blocking our progress, and they ruin the furniture, and they're just plain gross. Agreed. Sometimes unexpected and gross something unexpected. Bleh, yeah. You know what? I'm taking a quick drink. I need it. My throat's starting to hurt. Excuse me. Now I sound like the big red ghost. Anyway, something unexpected and gross has happened in the gloomy manor. It's been infested with spiders, and they're redecorating the place with sticky webs. What am I drinking? It's just regular, everyday water. It's just water from a water bottle, which I poured into one of these. Excuse me. It helps keep the water a little bit cooler, especially if you stick it in the fridge and pull it back out. So it keeps it cooler a little bit longer, versus just having the water bottle out outright. Anyway, it started suddenly, and definitely not by natural means. You thought it was some sort of shoes because it was pink. You thought it was some sort of juice. Fair enough. The bottle itself is pink, not the liquid inside. It's more like a nice sunset-like color, a bit of a pink on the bottom and a yellow on the top, kind of like a sunset. Sunset sort of tie-dye design. Anyway, let's continue. At this rate, just walking around the place will soon become impossible. Get back to the manor post-haste and suck up every last web with the Poltergust 5000. Excuse me? Oh dear. Well, that was something. I thought I was going to puke in my mouth for a minute. Anyway, meanwhile, I'll try to figure out how this could have happened. Okay, let's get moving. Now, shall we? Okay. Now for this mission, we have to suck up 46 different spider webs. And as far as I know, this is going to take a little bit. Now some of you may be wondering, why is it that this game has a mission-based structure? Why is there nothing but missions for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD? Well, due to the fact that this game was originally released back on the Nintendo 3DS, the 3DS was meant to be played in short bursts, especially if you're using the 3D effect within the system itself. And as a result of that, that's the reason why the designers designed the game around the whole mission mechanic. So, in other words, that's the reason. Every level is mission-based. And, you know, that's okay with me, because what if you don't have a whole lot of time in your day? Oh, stupid spider! What if you don't have a whole lot of time in your day and you just want to progress a little bit within the game? You don't want to feel obligated to have to spend several hours just to be able to play through the entirety of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Who do you think you are, speedrunner? You have a 9 to 5. You gotta do something. Yeah, just saying though. I'm just saying. When it comes to my opinion on the whole mission structure and just this being mission-based, I'm okay with it. I'm honestly a-okay with this. Also, fire! Fire! Funny how I talked about the whole Beavis and Butthead thing earlier, talking about fire. Well, believe it or not, if you happen to have an object such as a lob of a spider web lit ablaze like a frickin' Christmas tree, you can light up spider webs like nobody's business. Just keep in mind though, upon letting it go by pushing the ZL button, the wad of the spider web will just simply vanish without a trace. In other words, it'll be gone forevermore. And also, while you're there, while you have this thing on fire, definitely walk around with it and light some enemies ablaze. Trust me, it's worth it. See what I mean about the whole enemies being lit alive and just or no. See what I mean about the whole wad of the spider web just simply vanishing? Yeah. That is something that can most certainly happen, and it will happen if you happen to let it go. Although it does make me wonder, how is it that the web doesn't vanish sooner? How is it that it doesn't burn over time? Oh, I know. Video game logic! Nice. Yoink! Nice double capture. I like it. One very nice thing to know about cleaning up the spiderwebs during this mission is you do get a chime every time you clean up one of these accursed webs. Although keep in mind that spiders are going to be spawning all over the place, so if you really want to rake in the extra cash, then get ready to charge up that flashlight and stop cleaning the spiderwebs for a little bit.
I do it.
There we go. All clean. Next. And it's also great to see that we can now finally access the library from its intended door. Ooh, hello. We have ourselves a missing piano. Is this a boo? No. Okay, that was just the chair. Now we have the piano itself. There we go, there's the boo. Boo! Did I scare you? My name's... Sing it with me now! Beethoven! I also learned this today as well, and that is apparently Beethoven had a different name in the original 3DS release. It was known as something else. As far as what that name was, I cannot recall for the life of me. But even so, I like this name better. It's a far more fitting name, in my opinion. Get over here, you. Boom, baby. Boom. Now then, time to clean up the rest of these frickin' spiderwebs. And also, it would only be considered clear upon cleaning up the spiderwebs on both the bottom floor and the top floor. So keep that in mind. Hey look, it's the two ghost stooges. Ain't that the truth? Those were the two frickin' stooges. And there's more to come. Much, much more. Trust me,
Yeah.
the fun is only just beginning. Oh, hi. How y'all doing? God, can you even imagine a bunch of spiders crawling out from underneath your frickin' kitchen table after pulling the frickin' tablecloth? That would make anyone jump, especially those that are scared of bugs and spiders and have like a spider phobia. Oh lord. If you have that phobia, then oh dear, I feel bad for you. Hopefully you're able to get through life one way or another. Believe it or not, that is a real thing. Trust me, it ain't fun to deal with. As far as I know, I don't have that kind of phobia. I'm more scared of bees, wasps, and hornets, if anything. Oh, stupid bats! I ain't your buddy, go away! Oh great, we have one of these. So, funny thing about this wad of a frickin' spider web is... I do believe there is a way to deal with this in some capacity. There's supposed to be something around here where I can light either one of these on fire. Excuse me. There might be something I'm missing in here, though I doubt it. Yeah, I didn't think that would work. Let me check something. Yeah, just as I thought. There's an invisible door. I need to go in through that way. I'm a goober. Sometimes looking around and peeking through optional areas and lookabouts, they can come in handy in more ways than one. By that I mean it can sometimes give you a hint to say, hey, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this, and then and only... Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, apparently we just got disconnected. Let me pause the game, make sure everything, Oh dear. Looks like this is being split into 2 sessions. Part 1 and Part 2 for YouTube, unfortunately. I don't know why OBS suddenly lost connection, my internet died, and then came back to life. Come back to life, you freaking goober! Gosh dang it. So, if this ended up getting split into 2 separate streams, or if there was a massive cut... Oh, you're still here? That's good to hear, Super Colex. I'm glad. But anyway, if the YouTube stream ended up getting split in 2, or it just cut out briefly, well, unfortunately, there's not really a whole lot that I really can do at this point in time. Thankfully, I am recording this locally, so when I eventually render this session and upload it to YouTube, it will be one singular piece, and not 2 separate streams. So, for those of you who just briefly got disconnected and then came right back, yeah, it was... I briefly lost connection on YouTube, apparently. But according to the stream health report on my YouTube dashboard, it says that the stream is healthy and it hasn't changed since it started. So why is it that OBS said that I got disconnected is beyond me. Probably because it only disconnected for about a second. Then, after that is when... that was when trouble began. Something like that. Not sure. Poor bat got lit on fire. I guess they wanted to tell me that their jokes were fire. You know? It's like being dragged up to the surface of the sun just for the sake of a pun, or to take out an enemy bioweapon. You know? Well, anyway. that was a thing. Okay, that's all cleaned up and ready to go. Spick and span, absolutely flawless. Ooh, treasure. I like that. Wait, why is that treasure floating in the air? I don't get it. This game's weird. You found out the first Luigi's Mansion came out in 2001. You never knew it was that old. Yeah, I definitely feel old, that's for sure. I feel like an old man because I constantly have to get out of my chair and reposition myself because my butt hurts after so long. Sitting in it for so long. I'm not kidding. It hurts. Okay, hello there, Mr. Golden Spider. How are you? I believe there are more around here. Oh. Hello. And somehow this house is not burning down. Like London Bridge falling down. I don't get it. I'm guessing this whole house is fireproof or something. Must be made of some really strong fireproof coating or something. I mean, that would make sense. Maybe. Wish such a thing was actually real and existed. My fair lady. Okay, there we go. Oh, really? Oh, there we go. Somehow it lit itself back on fire again. That's cool. Nice. Hope that takes care of that spider web. And looks like we have another area we can access right up here. But before I go, I want to take a look around a little bit. Actually, no. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this little area right up here. Because I have a feeling that there's something up here that is relatively useful. Yeah, welcome to the rafters. And here I thought we wouldn't have to worry about the whole tightrope thing. But yet, here we are. I thought we wouldn't have to worry about the... Whoa. Okay. Gotta be careful about that. Alright. Now, when it comes to the whole tightrope thing, you can traverse on it by simply holding the analog stick forward. Try to keep straight, and you should be okay. You can also hold the B button to run across the tightrope. However, you will not exactly be stable. In other words, you're going to have a very, very rough time. Okay, there we go. Boom, baby. Boom goes the dynamite. Okay, I can't go over there. Not that easily. I also just realized now that this is about... we're about finished here. Only got a few more spider webs to go before the mission's over. You know, I kind of wanted to wait a little bit before I ended the mission because I still have a gem to hunt down, and it's only available to be grabbed while we're in this mission in particular. So, you know what? Before I go back, before I grab the last of the spider webs around here, I'm going to go ahead and just go back the way I came. Like I said, you can shimmy across those beams faster by holding down the B button and moving forward or backwards respectively. Just keep in mind, it's going to be harder to keep your balance on it. And if you happen to fall down, you will respawn at your last valid location. In other words, it'll take a little... You'll lose a little bit of health. And... yeah. There we go. Yoink! Another frickin' gem added to the collection. And now we only have 2 more to worry about here. Cool. Okay, back to the rafters. Time to finish this up. And as far as I know, This big spider web right here, like, there's nothing behind it. Okay. Sometimes slow and steady does indeed win the race, but if you want that 3-star, you better start shimmying like there's no tomorrow. This game is pretty boring when there's hardly no other characters in it. Well, I can't say I disagree with that statement, but I don't fully agree with it either. I mean, it's not like this game really needs that many characters. I mean, there's Luigi, Egad, and of course there's King Boo and his ghostly ghouls. But, there we go, mission complete. Good work, Luigi. The spiders should leave now that you've removed their webs. Anywho, a more pressing issue has come up. I may have discovered where the spiders came from. I'll bring you back now to fill you in. Sounds good.
Oh, yes.
Alright.
I did it.
Sweet. Alright, what's our turtle? 2-star? Called it. Yeah, I did take quite a while to finish the mission. So that would only make sense. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep on moving along now, shall we? Glad to see you're back, Sonny. Did you capture any ghosts? I sure did. Let's put them in the bolt and see what we got. Of course, we got some gems, like 2 of them. Of course, our Boo friend. It's beautiful, if I do say so myself. Alright, we obtained our 3rd upgrade, and our next one unlocks at 10,000 gold. And our 3rd upgrade is Poltergust level 3. aka the maximum power! When vacuuming up a ghost, you can now charge the power gauge to full capacity before pressing A. In other words, it deals a lot more damage now, which is pretty sweet. While you were cleaning out all of those webs, I made an important discovery. There's an incredibly strong paranormal signal coming from deep within the manor. Now, I'm not sure where it is or how it managed to evade the periscope's radar for so long, but I reckon it's somehow connected to the spider infestation. Unfortunately, pinpointing the signal hasn't been the easiest of tasks. But as soon as I find the darn thing, I'm sending you in after it. Get your game face on, Sonny. In other words, get your game on. Here we are. And of course we now, why is Luigi looking scared right now? That's because he is. He is very, very scared. He is very afraid. Anywho, now it's time to take on the boss for this place. This paranormal reading is off the charts. I don't know what's down in the cellar, but it's not happy. Why don't you, investigate? Sounds good. Eureka! I cracked it! I've triangulated the powerful paranormal signal, and it's coming from the cellar. Yup, the cellar! Scared? Can't say I blame you. Cellars do have a terrible reputation, but I believe in you, Luigi. Once we find out who or what is behind this mess, we'll put a stop to it. So bottoms up, button up those overalls real tight and get ready for action, my boy. Now go to the cellar. You'll need to take the elevator. It's pretty straightforward, but I'll make the cellar on the Dual Screams map just in case. Or you'll mark it, rather. Poor guy must have had a very bad anxiety. He most certainly does. And he also has quite afraid of ghosts. He has a ghost phobia. Okay, where the hell did you get that key? This key should open the elevator, Though I imagine the elevator's operating permit may be expired. Oh well, I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay then, I'll be tracking your progress from the relative warmth and comfort of this bunker. Ready or not, here you go! Ah, jeez, here we go again. Time to take on the boss of this place. Video game logic? Let's just leave it at that. Too true, my friend, too true. So, whenever you start a boss mission, you cannot go and freely explore the mansion. As much as I hate to say it, you just can't do it. Why? Because plot. That's why. You got some ghost busting to do, so even if you were to step out the door, EGAT's gonna be like, now's not the time for that.
Hello?
Luigi, where are you going? You need to take the elevator down to the cellar.
Ciao.
True. That's something we need to do. And we will be doing it in just a moment. For now, I kind of wanted to get a couple of coins before I went on my merry way.
I do it.
One more thing worth mentioning too is the boss arenas. Most boss arenas do not have gems in them. I think there is one exception. And even then, I think you can collect that gem well before the, you access the boss arena. Although I could be wrong. Just saying though. Well, here we are. Finally here at our destination. Gotta say, that was a pretty rough landing. Alright, let's go ahead and grab these coins. Whee! Fun slip and slide. Not much we can really do about that, unfortunately. And once you start sliding down here, there's no going back up. I don't know why. It just seems like the floor is just made of freaking grease. So you can't climb the stairs even if you want to again. And besides, even if you could, those stairs do not look very stable and could probably give way at any moment. Or they will give way, rather. I'm just saying. One more thing too is boss arenas like these tend to not have any opportunities to allow you to gain the golden bones. So in other words, if you happen to lose all your health here, it's game over. And you just simply have to restart the mission. That's usually how it works. But that still doesn't mean you should skip out on any treasures you may find around here, because it still can be added to your totals, for one, and two, you kind of need them for upgrades. Hello there! How you doing, Miss Spider? Oh! Oh man, that's a creepy-ass thing. So, when it comes to this thing, these boss fights act more like puzzles, if anything else. So what I mean by this is, believe it or not, these boss fights aren't really fights, they're puzzles. Once you know the solution to the puzzle, then the fight is really not that bad. And as you can see, whoop! Oh dear, this could be bad. So anyway, as I was saying, as you can see, that spider is possessed by this god unholy thing. What the heck is it? Well, it's a big boy, and it is causing all kinds of problems. Ouch. Dang it. Well, I was an idiot and completely forgot that, hey, you're supposed to retreat. Retreat to the safety of, retreat to the corner. Check them corners. Come on, suck up the thing. Oh, pfft. Okay, note to self, you cannot let go of that thing. Duly noted. And by the way, in order to get the... Oh my god, suck up the thing. As I was saying, in order to get the spider to, I'll make it so... Oh god, the stupid freaking thing! As I was saying, in order to get the Spider Queen to allow you to grab this wad of spider web right here, what you have to do is flash her right in the eyes. Unfortunately, you can't suck her up dry or anything like that. Oh my god. Stupid frickin' spiders hanging on the ceiling. Always ruining my frickin' day. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one. Ah, there we go. So like I said, the puzzle for this boss fight, it can be a bit difficult to figure out during your first playthrough. But after you know what to do, then the boss fight itself is relatively easy. However, there is a matter of surviving the fight in general. Because you'll have to deal with poison and just avoiding everything in sight, avoiding the frickin' spiders in the background that just want to drop on your head and ruin your day. It's not exactly a fun time. And also, once the Possessor Ghost emerges, or just emerges in general, get ready to charge up a flash, a big flash, and try to avoid it. Oh Jesus, I forgot about this again. Good job, me. Why did I do that? I'm stupid. Jeez. There I go, being dumb. It's been a little while since I last played the game, folks, so it only makes sense. That's what I get for hesitating like an idiot. Wait, I think I'm supposed to take this back here first. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. I need to light this thing on fire. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to do. Although it does, it seems kind of weird that I can't light up the queen spider on fire. Also, screw you, game. I will say this as well, at the very least, the game is rather generous when it comes to spawning health pickups. The lower on health you are, the more likely health will spawn, so that's pretty nice. So you don't have to worry too much about dying all that much. Although, you really shouldn't abuse the health pickups. Also, I believe in order to get this guy to even be able to be sucked into the vacuum and suck up all the layers and stuff, one thing you need to keep in mind is you need to suck at the maximum power, so level 1, level 2, and level 3 respectively. As far as I know. Although I never tried it at a lower level, so who's to say for sure. I'll have to try it with the next boss fight. Oh! Looks like the spider's back to normal. And you know, now that she is back to normal, she doesn't seem so bad. Uh-oh. Those guys, on the other hand, yeah, they can just go tuck a duck in bed. Oh boy, that was something. That's definitely not a 3-star. In fact, I'm going to bet and say it's at least a 1-star. Because that boss fight was rough.
Oh, I did it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go. Mission complete. Okay, better than expected, but still not great. That was just me being a frickin' goober, getting hit far too often. That's why I lost the 3-star. Not a big deal. It is what it is. Alright, back to the bunker. Luigi, my boy, what a fight! You really used your noggin to teach that ghost a lesson. Let's take a look at that body snatcher ghost. And here he is. Funny enough, this won't be the last time we'll see something of him, because you'll notice a theme when it comes to these guys in particular. The more mansions we clear, the more you'll understand. For now, let's just continue. And upon completing the boss mission for this place and the final mission in general, and also sucking up all the booze as well for every mission, we'll be able to take on an additional extra mission within the Gloomy Manor, the Gradual Infiltration. Oh, fantastic! Now that we've recovered another Dark Moon piece, we just need to find the rest of them. Yeah, I feel you there, Luigi. What's that? You thought we were done? Oh, you didn't think the ghosts would keep all the pieces in the same place, did you? No, these ghosts are far too crafty for that. They've likely spread the pieces across the entire valley. Anywho, let's inspect that piece of the Dark Moon. Criminy! Just like the other one, this thing is covered with the same corrupting energy. But it's nothing a good scrubbing can't fix. Alright, let's give it a good old scrub-a-dub-dub in the tub with some good old WD-40. Although, who's to say what kind of chemicals are used to clean up this toxic corruption thing off of the Dark Moon piece? Who knows? And really, who cares? Hey, I care, gosh dang it. Hey, that's just me. Now, if my suspicions are correct... Yes! More of that creepy fog is lifted! Maybe the periscope will be able to locate more Dark Moon pieces now. Let's take a gander at the map and see what shakes loose. Let's see what shakes loose, you dumb recluse. And that would be the next mansion. Oh, that's it! That's where we got to go next! How are we gonna get there, you ask? Well, I thought I might come to this, so I made a couple of tweaks to the pixelator. It should now be able to move you to the next location. Check it out on the monitor. Sounds good. We'll check it out within the next session, but I want to take on that extra mission here within the Gloomy Manor before we move on. And besides, in the next session anyway, I need to go back through and pick up the remaining gems that I missed in this place. Which, as you can see, we did do really well when it comes to our gem collecting. We only missed 2 throughout the course of the entire, our entire trip there. So, that's pretty good, all things considered. Only 2 gems. Just makes me wonder where, one of the other gems is. I know where one is. The question is, how the heck is it I'm supposed to get it down? Well, whatever. Let's head back into the Gloomy Manor and take on the extra mission which unlocks after getting every single boo, which is Gradual Infiltration. We have an interesting situation. The periscope is picking up mild paranormal signals in the manor. I'm sending you to investigate, which I will go ahead and head in after a quick drink. Now then, let's go. Hey, youngster, we got an unexpected development at the Gloomy Manor. Just when we thought it was finally free of ghosts, the periscope picked up more paranormal signals. It's got to be the ghosts, but I have no idea where they're coming from. In any case, they're probably up to no good, so we need to capture them. I'll pixelate you back into the Gloomy Manor, and we'll take it from there. Sound good? No? Well, think of it as character building. In other words, character development. Okay, off you go. Okie dokie. Sounds good to me. Time for one more mission, and then we will call it a session for today. Kinda crazy that we've been going on for nearly 4 hours. Hey, I'm cool with that. I will say we've made quite a lot of progress today, and I'm very happy about that. Okay. Alright, Luigi, I got a rating on the ghost. Check your map. And of course, they're right there. So when it comes to these paranormal missions, how they work is that a bunch of ghosts will randomly spawn within any of the given rooms of which you previously explored in the mansion. Be sure to check your map as you're going about. You gotta work fast if you want to get the high score.
Oh yeah.
Alright. First one down. On to the next. Okay. What in tarnation? More readings are popping up. Okay. Let's check the map. Alright. Next stop is the lab, and of course we have one on the second floor up here in the lobby. Duly noted. So again, be sure to bring up the map whenever new ghosts appear. Seriously, trust me, your map is your best friend. It will tell you exactly where the ghosts are spawning. And for each and every single run, it is random. So keep that in mind. Ghosts are not going to spawn in the same place every single time. As stupid as that sounds, it's absolutely true. I'm surprised you did not attack me right then and there. Right. Sunglasses. I know you like to wear your sunglasses at night, but it's not cool. That died in the early 1980s, or whenever the song came out. Don't forget to pick up any treasures that you find along the way, as that will help greatly when it comes to obtaining a high score. And in my honest opinion, the most important factor when it comes to getting a 3-star ranking on this mission, or any of these infiltration missions in particular, is time. If you happen to get a bad spawn and bad RNG, then you unfortunately may end up losing the 3-star as a result of that. Also, ow! I know you want me to put my hands together and clap for the DK rap, but come on now, this isn't the time or the place. There we go. Okay, room cleared. Next. Okay, what's next? Okay, first floor, where is it? Right here in the foyer. Perfect. One surefire tell way of knowing exactly where the ghosts are, if you happen to be anywhere nearby, is if the room is dark, then that means they're there. They're ready to party. They're ready to boogie down. There we go. That's another one down. Next. Nice. Another room cleared. Alright, what's next? Oh, they're still on the first floor. Oh, and one more thing worth mentioning too is ghosts will never spawn in the boss arena at all, because you can't even access them outside of the boss missions anyway. So keep that in mind. They can also reappear in the same room of which you previously exercised. So keep that in mind too. I don't think so, buddy. Dude, come on, suck it up. Suck it up and be a man! I'm surprised I managed to get that, but hey, I'll take it. Okay, another room exercised, on to the next one. Really hate the fact that I'm spending nearly 4 minutes here. I know EGAD is not going to be too happy about this. Okay. Get over here! There we go. All exercised. All cleared out. 4 minutes, 14 seconds. Not too bad.
Hello?
You'll miss me. What do you mean? I'm not going anywhere just yet. Weren't exactly quick about it, but at least I caught them all. Anywho, let's bring you back.
Ow.
I'm going to guess that is a 2-star, just from that statement alone.
I did it.
Oh, whenever I go. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, that was still a 3-star. Nice! Probably due to the treasures I picked up. And one more thing too, I do believe that the gold bone does not spawn during the infiltration missions either. So that is something to keep in mind. Whew. Gotta say, this was a very productive first session, that's for sure. Definitely happy with the amount of progress that we made. Glad you made it back safely, Luigi. There were more ghosts up there than I originally anticipated. Boom, baby. Let's add them in. One more thing worth mentioning too, when it comes to hunting gems during infiltration missions, you can't do it. You just can't. They don't spawn at all. Those ghosts were no match for you, young feller. No match at all. But don't get too confident, son. You can't afford to let your guard down with all those ghosts about. Anywho, I still have no idea what triggered the ghost resurgence. The scientific method doesn't exactly apply to paranormal phenomenon, you know? That said, there's no mystery that science can't eventually solve. That's true. As crazy as it sounds, I 100% agree with him on that particular aspect. But with that, folks, our first mansion is cleared. However, there's still 2 more gems that we need to hunt down, and I think now is as good a time as any to just go ahead and wrap things up and call it a day. We'll hunt down these missing gems within the next session of the game. And after we get those gems, then we'll head on off to the next mansion, the Haunted Towers. So with that, folks, I bid you all adieu for today. This is General Snivy with Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you were able to attend the live stream live, thank you for attending. Next time, we'll be heading on off to the Haunted Towers, collect the missing gems here within the Gloomy Manor, and grab as much as we possibly can within the Haunted Towers. And I'm going to say this right now, this is probably going to be one hell of a ride when it comes to this place in particular. It's going to be fun, and I hope you're all looking forward to seeing more of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, otherwise known as Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. And funny enough, this game on the 3DS outside of the United States was just simply titled Luigi's Mansion 2. I don't know why I didn't mention that earlier, but here we are. But anyway, thank you all once again so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. And for us Twitch those of you who are watching this on Twitch right now, let's see if anyone is live, and we'll see if I can raid someone. Let's raid channel and go by following. And for those of you who are looking forward to doing like Banjo-Tooie and speedrunning that game, there you go. Let's go ahead and raid a Welsh whale. Looks like they're doing a 100% Banjo-Tooie run. Alright, let's get ready to start the raid. Thank you all once again so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. See you all later.